And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over the mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, sorry for not being here on Saturday, but you know, I had a very important travel engagement. Shout out to Uncle Tom Part 2. The premiere was amazing. We'll talk about that. But the topics for tonight, we got the California car ban. Well, they're not going to ban all cars. They're going to ban all gas cars by what, 2032, 2034, or something like that. There's some issues with that, obviously. We'll talk about that in a minute. Mark Zuckerberg went on Joe Rogan and said, hey, you know that whole Hunter Biden situation, the Hunter Biden laptop story? Well, we were kind of pressured by the federales to not really let that get a lot of traction. And I'm sure the same thing applied to Twitter and everywhere else. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Shout out to Abercrombie and Fitch for pulling the ad they had of the body positive woman after a tweet storm. Hey man, give the people what they want. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, shout out to the Atlanta Fulton County District Attorney for cracking down on crime, because the crime in Atlanta is something else. If you've never experienced it, you don't want to experience it. We'll talk about that. Also, Duke Volleyball. Do we have a race hoax, a race misunderstanding? What's going on with that? And there's one more thing about the NIH updating their list of therapies for the bug. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet, so I appreciate you for joining. If you like what you have heard so far, if you like the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. We got quite a few topics on deck for tonight. And before we get into the topics, of course, shout out to Uncle Tom Part 2. The movie has been released. It came out Friday, August 26, 2022. And as y'all know, I went to Dallas, Texas for the premiere. The premiere was amazing. I met quite a few people I had met before and some people I met before. This was my first time meeting Colonel Allen West. That was amazing. He was just a fantastic person. I had met Jesse Lee Peterson before once in Politicon back in 2019. Of course, I know Brandon Tatum. That's my brother right there. Larry Elder, I met him a couple times before. But it was good to see everybody right there. Carol Swain I met before. I actually had dinner with Carol Swain before, fun fact. So shout out to Carol Swain. She came to Chattanooga with it was like a group. I forget what it was, because I think she lives in Tennessee, and she came with a group, like a political group, and I was with a group as well. So we're at a table together with a lot of us in the two different groups kind of joining together. So shout out to Miss Carol Swain. A lot of good people were there. Shout out to all you guys that I met at the actual premiere. If I took a picture, signed an autograph, or just said hello, thank you for being there. We couldn't do it without y'all. So the premiere was amazing. Definitely a great experience. Love Dallas. You know, I've been in Dallas before, but I hadn't really experienced it like that to really be kind of moving around. Dallas was amazing. So shout out to Texas in general. Everything's much bigger in Texas. That's 100% truth. So yeah, shout out to Texas, shout out to Uncle Tom Part 2, and thank you to everybody that came and made the premiere a success. It was sold out, 600 tickets sold out, and the movie has been released. So if you want to buy Uncle Tom Part 2, go to uncletom.com and check it out. It's available. You can see it right now today. So that's what that was. But yeah, it was definitely a great experience. So shout out to them. Now, who else? What else we got going on before we get to the topic? Shout out to the sponsors, of course. Shout out to my particular websites. You got AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. You also, and on the AnthonyBLogan.com website, if you go to the contact page, you can find my social media, my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And a lot of you guys are asking me, hey, ABL, some guys on Instagram talking about he's you, and he wants to sell me some Forex or some Bitcoin, or he wants to contact me on WhatsApp. I would never, ever, 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 ever contact you at all. An email, a YouTube comment or anything like that asking for money or asking for you to call me or anything like that, if it's not the number right here that's on the show, if you don't see the number in the description of the live show, it's not me. I promise. The 434-658-1220, that's my only number that you will ever have. Nothing else. All right. You have my email. That's all you need. And that's contact@anthonyblogan.com. So if you get an email from a different email, that's not me. Please be vigilant. Do not get scammed, because there's a lot of that going on YouTube. And you can verify if who you're speaking with is me or not by simply checking their profile and checking my website to see if it matches. Again, anthonyblogan.com/contact. All my contact information is right there. My email address, my snail mail address is all available. Also, when you go to the website, I write an article for each video that I produce. So there's always sources there. I always cite my sources. And they're not just from right-wing, quote-unquote right-wing sources. It's from everywhere. It's from left, from right, from non-political, local, national. It doesn't really matter. I place all my sources in the description so you can fact check me. I always challenge y'all to please fact check me. Don't just let me say things without any kind of challenge. Fact check me. And I'm pretty sure 99.9 times out of 100, I'm going to be right. But anyway, also shout out to ABLmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more. Check it out right now. Also, go to patriotpost.us. They are the best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. So check them out right now. Links will always be in the description. That's patriotpost.us. Also, go to bhedesigns.com. That is BHEDESIGNS.com. They have the beautiful handmade flags that are right behind me. You can get ones that are just like that or whatever you desire for yourself, custom made, over on the website, bhedesigns.com. Now, before I get into the topics, I'm answering some of the questions. I see you, Bob K. MIT. He says, did you see Jericho Green in Texas? Yes. Jericho was there. It was a surprise. I didn't know he was going to be there, actually. So that was a pleasant surprise. And I saw him. I had this big, crazy smile. I was like, hey, Jericho, what's going on? So Jericho was there. Oliver Mack, Right Wing Angel. Of course, Brandon Tatum, myself. Bryson Gray was there. Gothix was there. Got to meet Gothix for the first time. So shout out to Gothix. That was a surprise to see her there. So Gothix was there. Damani Felder, Craig Long. I don't want to miss anybody's name. So if I miss anybody's name, please don't shoot me. Please forgive me. But yeah, everybody was there. It was a really good time. Elijah Schaefer was there from what's that? I forget his Twitter thing, but he was there. It was quite a few guys over there. I think Anomaly might have been doing some stuff, but he wasn't really there. I'm not really sure. I didn't see Anomaly there, but but I know I saw Elijah Schaefer. I saw quite a few guys and girls. So shout out to everybody that was there. 100%. I'm reading some of the comments. Then I get to the actual topics here. But yeah, it was definitely a great experience. If you go to the Uncle Tom page, there should be, like the Instagram page, there should be some pictures. I'm going to have some here on my Instagram that are in the tagged section. Oh, here's a good picture of us. This is a kind of controversial picture for some people because of who's in it, I thought it was a great picture, but this is going to be some content that comes out pretty soon. So I guess you would say, the moderator or the host of a roundtable discussion with these guys that are right here. Let me put them on the screen so you guys can see what's going on. So who do we have here? We have Jesse Lee Peterson, Colonel Allen West, myself. Chad Jackson is right there on the left. Chad is the guy that's behind the movie, basically. He is on the cover of Uncle Tom Part 2. All right, so that's him. People were like, who is that? Is it, all kind of things. I don't want to say who I thought he was, but that's Chad Jackson. And of course, there's Brandon Tatum right there. And you see myself back in the back. Now, if you see what I have on, you might see I have on like regular kind of like canvas shoes. See, what had happened was they called me when I was just out in Dallas, going to museums and just being a tourist. So I had on a pair of shorts and my regular canvas sneakers and a polo shirt, like I'm about to go to a PTA meeting, right? Like I'm a 45-year-old dad going to a PTA meeting. That's how I was dressed. The only thing that was missing was a pair of New Balances and a ball cap with the rim curved all the way to infinity, with the rim curved to a newspaper roll. That's all I was missing was that. But I was pretty much soccer dad. That's how I was looking in Dallas. And then I get a call and like, hey, man, are you in Dallas? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. It was like, hey, we need to come down to the studio and host a roundtable discussion with a few guys. It'd be good. So I'm not prepared. I don't know what to wear. Everyone had on their premiere outfit, but I was not dressed in my suit yet. So I'm like, okay, can I put on a pair of pants right quick and just, it was real quick. And they found me a jacket in the studio. So that's not my jacket. It fit pretty well. It was nice and velvety. I almost stole it from them. I almost stole the jacket, but I didn't. So yeah, this was a good moment. But you're going to see, there is video of this. It was about a 45-minute to an hour discussion with us talking about certain things in the movie and things that were not in the movie, but kind of relate to the subject matter of it. So y'all check it out. I'll let you guys see it very, very soon. Be on the lookout. You know, they may put it out in pieces. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but whenever they release it or give me the green light to release it, you guys will see it. So yeah, shout out to them. And I got some more before we get to the main topics. Let's see. What else? I got some more pictures here. Can I load it up? Well, I'll just show my pictures right quick from my Instagram. I think that'll work. I think that will work just fine. All right. Yeah, it's controversial because of who's in it. I know the picture is controversial, but it's going to be a good conversation. I promise. It's going to be a great conversation. They did amazing. I did not really have that much of a role as far as giving my opinion. My job was to make sure the conversation flowed and the questions that needed to be asked got brought up. So I was just like the bridge that connected it. I was the host. So that was a new experience for me. But here's me, and here's the theater. So this is at the Angelica Theater in Dallas, Texas. You see the marquee Uncle Tom 2 world premiere Friday, August 26th. All right. And then here's a few of us. You got Bryson Gray, Damani Felder, Oliver Mack, Jericho Green. You got Topher, Craig Long, and myself in the back. Craig Long is humongous. Craig Long's probably about 6'5", so that's why I'm 6'3". So you see the height differences there. You got Gothics right there, of course. That was a surprise. That was a pleasant surprise. And you see I have a pocket square right here. That's really that's some napkins from the restaurant. Because after the event, we went to a restaurant for the after party. It was open bar and open like pizza and stuff like that. So I took some towels that happened to be black and put in my lapel pocket, and nobody knew the difference. They just thought it was a regular, what they call it, a pocket square. But it's napkins. There goes Damani Felder right there again. And of course, this is when we went to the front of the stage after the movie was shown, and they did a Q&A. So here I am with Brandon Tatum, there's Carol Swain, there's Chad Jackson in the background. I forget who he is. He's a pastor. And of course, you got the big dog, Larry Elder, is right there. This was an amazing moment. I was just honored to be there, really. And then there's a wider shot of all of us talking here. That's Justin Malone. He's also involved with the movie. He's one of the producers. And of course, I had a view of Dallas, had a skyrise of Dallas, and then that's me at the end with my suit on. Like I would have had that on at the actual roundtable discussion, but I was not prepared. So I do own a pair of shoes. I'm not just walking around with canvas shoes like I'm some kind of bum. You understand? I got shoes. I got a pair of some dress shoes, right? Some floor shimes. Yes, I do own a pair of floor shimes. I'm not a bum out here just walking around with my pants on the ground. So yeah, that's pretty much what that was. It was a good event. And again, go to uncletom.com and get the movie. But I will move forward here. Yeah, that was a really good time. Fantastic time. Yeah, definitely got to do it again. If you guys have any events you want me to go to, anything similar to that, y'all just email me. You know, I travel a lot. I'm always on the go, so it's all good. Now let's talk about a few things here. Mark Zuckerberg versus the federales. Now, did we? No, somebody asked a question right here. Here's a good question. Somebody asked. It's a super chat question. It's kind of early, but I'll answer it right quick. Michael Critchlow, that's your name. Michael Critchlow says, "Why is Yano Caldwell never involved?" Well, I don't have that answer. I think, I don't want to say it's like little groups of people, but I don't know that. You see, a person like Yano Caldwell is not a social media influencer. He's a newscaster. So I think that he does not have the kind of impact that we would have by constantly being like on the radio or on television or online. That's kind of what that is. So I think that's my answer to that question, really. Because it's a lot of guys and girls that could be there, but not everyone has that influence and impact that we do. That's all. He has an influence and impact in his own way, but it's not the same as what we have. He'll be more suited to go to some of the black tie functions of the upper crust, like in New York and Chicago, LA, some of that type of stuff that I wouldn't be invited to. They would not invite a YouTube or a Facebook guy to those things. But if you're on Fox News, then you'd be invited to those things. So there are things that he would be invited to that I wouldn't, and vice versa. It all depends on what fits. I don't think he really fit in a group of guys that do YouTube and Facebook. You understand? It's not quite the same. That's all. Nothing against him. So shout out to Yano Caldwell. I saw his brother and the whole situation. Very sad. They're going to get, what's his name? John Walsh. I don't want to say his name incorrectly, but you guys know what I'm talking about. America's Most Wanted. Yeah, they're going to get John Walsh involved with it to find whoever killed Yano Caldwell's brother. Because if you guys don't know, someone killed Yano Caldwell's brother in Chicago, and they're trying to figure out who did it. So they got John Walsh on the case, helping them try to find who did it. So hopefully that works out. But I'll digress. I will digress. I put a video out today at Time at Tabasco. I put a video out at 6 p.m. about the, what was it about? About the volleyball case. But YouTube wants to give you recommendations or notifications whenever they want. Now I put a video out, you don't even know it. So that's just weird. But anyway, let's talk about, what was I going to talk about? Oh, Zuckerberg versus the federales. Now, I'm not surprised that Zuckerberg said this, because I was telling you guys a while ago that I think a lot of this stuff with the censorship of social media is coming from Washington, D.C. I said that a while ago. I already knew what it was. Because they will censor a guy like me. Speaking about YouTube, not as much, but Twitter, Facebook, they will censor a guy like me with no problem. It's not really an issue. If I go too far, I've not really been censored that much, except for on Facebook. On Facebook, they're more transparent with what they do now. Before, you would get shadow banned and you wouldn't even know it. You would have your views would be much lower. You would get downranked. People wouldn't see you as much, and you wouldn't even know what happened. But now they're telling you what's going on. Like, I have this thing on my account that says your account's been restricted. I can show you guys. Matter of fact, I can show you guys. Hold on. So you see what this says right here? So that's me, Anthony Brian Logan. Your post will be moved lower in feed for 15 days. This is on Facebook, right? So that's what's going on. And it was over nothing, really. It was an old post from like a year or two ago that somebody decided to flag me on, and they got me restricted. So I'm not blocked from Facebook, but people will see my posts fewer times, which I'm not sure if that's even true, because I've had posts that have pretty much gone viral since then. So I don't understand. It's so weird. They're being transparent, but at the same time, are they even enforcing what they say they're enforcing? I have no idea. But regardless of what's going on, they will censor a guy like me with no problem, because I'm not on a level of a New York Post, a New York Times, Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. I'm not quite like that, because if they get censored, if they get restricted, you got big money on the line, speaking about advertising from these companies. Because what if News Corp says, you know what? I don't like how you treated Fox News' Facebook page with the censorship. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull my ads from the network that I've been giving you. So that $1 billion you've been getting from News Corp in ads, that won't be there anymore. See, I don't have that kind of power to do something like that, to pull that kind of boss move to say, if you censor us, you won't get $1 billion. Kind of like how Joe Biden did when he was in Ukraine talking about Burisma Holdings and Poroshenko and Victor Shokin. Hey, if you don't fire that guy, you won't get $1 billion in U.S. guaranteed loans. Remember that when he went in front of the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations, and bragged about it? And the only reason why he did that was to protect Hunter Biden. So Joe was able to continue to get that 10%, the 10% for the big guy. Rabbit hole, I'm sorry, I digress. The point is that I don't have that kind of leverage to really kind of make them do what I want. So when a Facebook or a Twitter censors the New York Post, which is part of News Corp, which owns Fox News, it's like, oh, wait, just 1 minute. Whoa, slow down. Why would they censor this? Do they think that New York Post put out fake information? Absolutely not. New York Post will not put out fake information, especially not about Hunter Biden. If it's about the president's or the potential president's son, they will not mess that up. Joe already been in politics for 50 years. He was a vice president for 8 years under Barack Obama. There's no way you're going to put out a fake story about him. But yet and still, the story got censored all over the place. On Facebook, it wasn't as bad as Twitter. You see, on Twitter, they deleted the whole thing. You couldn't even post it. If you posted that, you might get banned. They censored New York Post's Twitter page. I think they suspended them or blocked them or something like that for a while. They removed the story. They went full scorched earth on the story. What Facebook did is what it did to me, as far as like limiting the reach of the post. That's what they did. Now, Zuckerberg went on Rogan and said, hey, you know what? Right when that story came out, we get a call from the federal government, from the FBI. Like, hey, man, that story might not be real, man. Could be fake, misinformation, Russian propaganda. Now, matter of fact, let me see if I find that clip right quick. See if I can just play the audio for you guys. Then me just talk about what the FBI said in response. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And we got quite a few videos to show, quite a few revelations to unfurl, if you will. Oh, it's a lot going on. It's a whole lot happening that I got to talk about. And the diary is real too. Don't forget about that diary. The diary from hell. You have the laptop from hell and the diary from hell. They're both real. But we were told from the beginning that they were fake. How many times have we been told a thing by the mainstream media that was very important to know, but it turned out to be a lie? And we knew from the beginning that they were lying. This is over and over and over. So when people get on TV and they say something like, oh, Trump is the reason why people don't trust the media, talking about fake news, he popularized the term fake news, therefore Trump is the reason why people don't trust the media. No, it's not even about Trump. I think at a certain point, we have our own minds. We could think for ourselves. When you keep putting out fake information and it's proven fake, it's proven wrong, you lied over and over and over and over again. You even admit that you lie over and over and over again. At a certain point, it's like, okay, why would I continue to trust you? At this point, you're like little boy cried wolf. You keep crying wolf and ain't no wolf there. I'm going to stop coming to see if there is a wolf, and you might get eaten. That's your fault, not mine, but I digress. Let's find that particular clip of Zuck talking about the federales, and then we'll keep on going forward here. Yeah. Let me see. Hold on, let me see if I can find that right quick. No, the FBI responded. So the FBI responded. Hold on. Now that's another one right there. Speaking about Aaron Rodgers, here's the Joe Rogan. Let's get a little bit of sound, shall we?
handle things when they're a big news item that's controversial. Like there was a lot of attention on Twitter during the election because of the Hunter Biden laptop story. The New York Post.
Yeah, we have that too.
Yeah, so you guys censored that as well?
So we took a different path than Twitter. Basically the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump of that's similar to that. So just be vigilant. They said you can't share this at all. We didn't do that. What we do is we have, if something is reported to us as potentially misinformation, important misinformation, we also have this third-party fact-checking program because we don't want to be deciding what's true and false. And for I think it was 5 or 7 days when it was basically being determined whether it was false, the distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it.
So that's pretty much what that was. Sorry for the going back and forth like this because it's Joe Rogan. I don't want to get dinged on YouTube for showing the Joe Rogan experience. Like I was going to do a video today about Ted Cruz, but if I was to show the video, if I was to play the video, it had Michael Jackson music in the background. I'm like, I can't play that. That's definitely going to get me dinged right there. I ain't trying to have Joe come back and with me for playing that one. But anyway, so he's saying that they didn't do what Twitter did, which was go full scorched earth and you couldn't share it at all. But they downranked it. They totally admitted that. This is a very important thing because the Hunter Biden laptop came out in the 0 hour. It was the October surprise right before the election. It could have changed the election. Now, that's controversial to say that because of different reasons, and I won't get into it, but it could have changed the outcome of the election. And they knew that. That's why they got warned by the federales, right? They got warned. Now, the Fed said that, oh, it's routine. It's protocol. We always do that. See, here's an article right here, Political Insider. FBI responds Zuckerberg's claims Facebook limited Hunter Biden story, says, quote, it's routine practice. Okay, so basically they say, oh, we always warn people about misinformation. But here's my question. Why would Facebook need to be warned about misinformation? You think they don't know? This is a multi-billion-dollar company. You think they don't know about misinformation and bots and stuff like that? They've been to Congress many times before talking about Cambridge Analytica, the ads that Russia bought. It was a whole big thing, but Trump's impeachment, Facebook was part of the impeachment pretty much. So why would they not know about misinformation coming from Russia or somewhere else? Of course they know. They don't got to be reminded by the federal government. The federal government pressed them to not put that out. Okay? That article, that the headline right there, not the article, but the headline, it's misleading to say that, oh, no, it's routine. It could be routine to give random warnings to random people, but not Facebook, first of all, for a routine thing. But second of all, I'm sure that the phone call was something like this. Hello, Facebook. Yeah. You know, there's a story out there about Hunter Biden and a laptop, right? You guys know that we have a policy in the federal government about misinformation, and we hate to have to do, bring it back to Congress, put sanctions and change laws and make new tax codes and things like that could hurt you now. So just as long as we're on the same page, wink, wink, you'll be totally fine. Don't worry about it. It's like a mob boss type thing, right? It's like Tony Soprano type situation, going into some deli and shaking them down for protection money. That's kind of what's going on. So you do this and I won't do this. Pay the money or we're going to do something to you. That's pretty much what's going on with the feds. Now, am I saying that every FBI agent is worthless or a pig or the whole organization is bad? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the leadership is terrible. The federales are being used as a political weapon against the regular everyday normie. They passed a whole thing where they got 87,000 new IRS agents, and they're going to start doing audits on Etsy money Etsy. So if you're a mom in your kids' playroom making quilted toys and stuff like that, and you made what $500, $700 or whatever it is, you made the threshold of IRS money. They're now going to target you. Etsy, eBay, whatever it is. You making beaded jewelry, little bracelets, $20. I mean, we need that money. We need to tax that. But we all knew that, right? We knew that when they hired those new IRS agents, they were not going to be for the quote unquote rich, because the rich have teams already that talk to the IRS. They communicate with the IRS directly to get things done. That's already in place. The new IRS agents are for you. You make money online. You got your subscription service account. I won't go too much into that, but you got an account like that. Oh, we need all that money, sir. You got a PayPal account. You getting tips and all that. We kind of need to see what's in there. We need to see that money in there. That's what's going on with the federales and the IRS. That's happening. But again, I'm not necessarily saying that all IRS agents are bad people. The media will twist it into that. And we'll talk about Ted Cruz. I can't play the video, obviously, because the video it has Michael Jackson music in the background. That's definitely going to get me a strike right there. But I'll just give you the rundown of what was said, and then we'll continue to keep on going here. So this is supposed to be some kind of undercover operation, some kind of sting, if you will. I'm not really sure what they're going to call it, but some kind of undercover thing where they were trying to trap up Ted Cruz. Talking about, oh, well, we caught him. He said this. Okay, hold on. I'll just show you the thumbnail. Now, Lauren Windsor says, new undercover, Ted Cruz agrees to defunding the FBI, says there needs to be a, quote, complete house cleaning that happened at the FBI. Now, people are trying to compare defunding the FBI to defunding the police. Not even the same thing. First of all, the police are not normally used as a political weapon against people. That's not how that works. That's not how that works at all, actually. But the FBI have been routinely used as a political weapon against the people, and also political opponents of the undesirables like Donald Trump or the opposing party who's not in power right now. So if you're the Democrats and you're in power, you're using the FBI against the Republicans. You're using the IRS against the Republicans. Remember, the IRS targeted conservative groups for audits and stuff like that. That happened. That really did happen. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can find a clip. Not clip, but article. IRS targets conservatives. And do you think it's just a regular normie at the IRS that says, hey, let's audit this particular group over there just because? No, it's a thing that's organized from the top. Okay, here it is right here for 2017. IRS apologizes now. I ain't making it up. This is NPR. IRS apologizes for aggressive scrutiny of conservative groups. They targeted conservative groups for audits and things like that. Why? Because they're conservative. This is right around the time when Trump was coming out. So, the Tea Party and people like that, yeah, linchpins of liberty, they got targeted directly. All right. That's what it was, settlements and everything that came to it. There was lawsuits, there was settlements, all of that. So it's not even about the employees. It's about the organization and what they do. And the federal government having way too much power. Way too much power at the top. What they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's what's going on here. So your local police force in Podunkville, USA, maybe even NYPD, cannot hold a candle to the federal government and their power. So when we say defund the FBI, it's nowhere near in comparison to defund the police. They're trying to compare the FBI as law enforcement to the police as law enforcement, but you got to see it as federal versus local. Two different things. Okay, we didn't fight a lot over states' rights and not being federalized and whatnot. Because what if we were federalized in every way? and the people that ran the federal government operated like California, it'd be a mess. It'd be a complete mess. How could you operate like that? I mean, California is struggling right now. They're struggling real hard. I'll talk about them in a minute with this whole ban on gas cars. They're struggling real hard. So if the whole country was like that, it'd be a serious problem, which is why you want to have states have more power over themselves rather than the federales coming in and controlling everything. That's what they want, though. They want everything to be federalized so they're able to have more control over us. A lot of normies don't understand that. They just think that they want things to be more simple and easier, so they'll kind of just go that route, not realizing that things may appear to be simple and easier on the front end, but on that back end, it's going to get real, real hard. It's going to get real difficult. It's going to get real scary real soon. Yeah, that's correct. California. We don't want that California all over the place. All right. But yeah, so back to this person, Lauren Windsor, who put this quote unquote undercover video out of Ted Cruz. And by the way, it's weird because I don't know why they would think it's undercover, because there's like a phone visible right there and he sees it. So how was it undercover if he sees a phone with the video on? Obviously, he knows he's being recorded. He knows people are listening to him, and it gave a very political answer, a correct answer. And if you want to see this, it's on my Twitter page. Go check it out. I can't play it because of the music in the background. Michael Jackson, PYT, or whatever that was. That's going to get me a straight strike. That's going to get me Thanos snapped off of YouTube if I play that. But yeah, he knows it's being recorded. So how was it undercover? But this person, Lauren Windsor, also organized this rally. Remember this rally? Remember this pathetic excuse for a quote unquote rally for Glenn Youngkin? Let's go back to the governor's race in Virginia, shall we? So Glenn Youngkin was going against what was the guy's name? I forget his name. It doesn't really matter. He's history at this particular point. But Youngkin won. The other guy didn't win. Oh, Terry McAuliffe. Terry McAuliffe was a governor before, but in VA, you cannot be the governor back to back. You have to wait at least one term to run again to become the governor. But Terry McAuliffe is a big stinking swamp rat. I mean, Terry McAuliffe ran Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign. Did you know that? He was a governor of Virginia. Then he became a senator or something like that in Virginia. He stayed around Northern Virginia, D.C. area as a swamp rat, like a Liz Cheney. Okay. From Wyoming, but not really. Grew up in D.C., in a D.C. metro area, a swamp rat. That's Glenn Youngkin. But anyway, not Glenn Youngkin, pardon me. That's Terry McAuliffe. Now, Glenn Youngkin is a Republican. He came in, and they were trying to make him be a racist with no evidence of such a thing. Really, Youngkin was like a pocket protector, kind of nerdy dude. And I was worried that he might not have the juice to succeed, but he did. He sure did in VA. Now, these morons right here decided to go park themselves in front of Youngkin's bus in Charlottesville with tiki torches, khaki pants, white dress shirts, and ball caps and sunglasses, like they're some kind of Proud Boys or something like that. So the same person who recorded Ted Cruz and posted it also organized that right there. So ridiculous. This had to have been the worst hoax I've ever seen. Because first of all, they're so woke, they can't get beyond the casting of diverse people. If they want to make it be like some kind of racial group, why would you have a woman and a black guy? You can't just have 5 white guys for a hoax. I mean, good grief. You can't even put 5 white dudes out there for a fake thing. I mean, come on. And it was raining, so they had torches out there. The torches could not get lit. They're soaking wet. I don't know about y'all, but if I was in a group like this, a hateful group, I'm not going to get rained on. I might, in that context, be a hateful person, but I'm not going to get soaking wet just because I want to be hateful. Can I just get an umbrella or something like that? Can I get up under an awning? Can I do my hateful chant inside of a building? I mean, come on. This was ridiculous. But these are the kind of things that happen in a place like DC. It's so performative and silly. It's ridiculous. And then they give it to us like it's not even a big deal because to them it looks normal. Oh, that's normal. These guys look totally fine. They're diverse and everything's, but we see a bunch of clowns who look completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. But I'll move on. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Speaking about ridiculous things, the California car ban or the California gas car ban, I think by what, 2032? 2035, pardon me. So they're going to ban all gas cars by 2035 as far as selling them new in the state. If you have a used car, they're not going to ban that. And I suppose there's no limit on you going to a different state and buying your gas car and then driving to California with it. But the problem is, if you have a gas car in California by that time, it may be cost prohibitive to maintain it. So if they're going to stop selling gas cars, you're going to see fewer mechanics that work on gas cars, I think. And also you're going to have higher gas prices because the purpose of the higher gas prices at that point would be to make you want to get an electric car. But I mean, and here's more of this political stuff doesn't make any sense because, all right, check it out. If I'm a regular normie, which I am, I'm a regular normie, and I have a Honda Civic from 2012, I got 175,000 miles on it. It gets pretty good gas mileage. I get 35 on the highway, right? I'm getting good gas mileage. There's a lot of miles on it. I paid it off a while ago. I take care of it. It'll last me a long time. Or better yet, a Toyota Corolla or a Toyota Camry. They'll last forever. A Toyota Tundra lasts forever. You rotate the tires, you change the oil, air filter, all that good stuff. You make sure you're timing the belt, pump. You do all your scheduled maintenance. You take care of it. You don't go drag racing or mudding too much. It's a nice car. It'll last. Why would I sell that? When it gets to be old like that, it's not really worth a lot of money. But you want to get $5,000, $10,000 for a used car like that with a lot of miles on it and an old model year with old technology on it. You won't get a high dollar amount for your car. Then they say, hey man, go out and buy a brand new electric car. I mean, would you buy a used electric car? I wouldn't buy a used electric car because of the battery in it. If the battery is 10 years old, it's about to explode any day now, or it'll just conk out any day now, and you're going to pay more for the battery than you did for the car. So why would you if you get a used car that's electric, it needs to be moderately used to the point where it's almost new. Put it to you that way. You don't need a brand new car, but I would at least get a 2019 or a 2020. I'm not getting no 2015 Toyota Prius. That makes no sense at all. But I would buy a 2015 Toyota Camry. Sure would. Hey, my dad had a Toyota, I forget what it was called. It was a Toyota truck from 1982 or 84, 86. It was like a real old truck. That I saw that truck still. I think my uncle had it. My uncle had that truck like I say about 5 years ago. From 84, 85 to 2018, that thing was still trucking. Also, I had a RAV4 before. I had a 96 RAV4. My dad had it first, and he gave it to me. I traded it with my granny for her Camry, and she had it. And then I think my cousin has it. I was out there in that area probably about 10 years ago, and it was still there, still on the road. So this is probably about, 2012, maybe 2013. And that car from 96 was still out there on the road looking brand new. So why would I sell that car, not get that much money, and buy an electric car? Why? And then in California, here's the funny part. You have rolling blackouts in California. Right? So you can't even necessarily use your car all the time. Let me see if I can find that particular thing right here. I mean, you can't make it up if you tried. You cannot make this stuff up. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So here's the timeline, right? August 24th, California bans sale of new gasoline-powered cars. August 30th, California asks Californians to avoid charging electric vehicles due to electricity shortages. So do you even have enough electricity to go around? You don't have that right now. We're only about 15% of cars that are sold in California are electric. You want to be at 100% by 2035, but you can't even power the ones you have on the road right now. Make that make sense. And how are you going to bolster the grid by 2035? Coal, natural gas. You'll do that to bolster the grid. So here's the thing. Here's a heat bulletin. Excessive heat starting tomorrow will stress energy grid. Starting tomorrow through Tuesday, California and the West are expecting extreme heat that is likely to strain the grid with increased energy demands, especially over the holiday weekend. Temperatures are forecast to begin rising Wednesday, intensifying through the holiday weekend and extending to early next week. In many areas of the West, temperatures are forecasted to be triple digits and break records. So hold on. Let me see if I can find the key right here. During a flex alert, which was going on right now by the flex alert, consumers are urged to reduce energy used from 4 to 9 p.m. when the system is most stressed because demand for electricity remains high and there is less solar energy available. The top 3 conservation actions are to set thermostats to 78 degrees or higher, avoid using large appliances, and charging electric vehicles. To say that right in the bulletin. So between 4 and 9 p.m., because of the stress on the grid, do not charge your car. And that's right now, only 15% of new cars in California are electric. What are you going to do when they're 100%? Was it very well thought out? I don't think so. It's silly. It's totally silly. And things like this are causing Dodge and whatnot to come up with electric cars, electric Dodge Charger, Challenger with fake engine noise. Can you even charge your car though? Can you even charge it? Huh? It's crazy. 114 degrees forecast Sacramento. It's crazy. It's too hot, man. Hey, if you're living in California, I feel for you. I promise I do. I feel for you. My heart goes out to you, man. Please escape. But if you leave the California BS in California. You guys don't have that problem. You guys are conservative or not crazy, at least. If you're not conservative, that's fine. But you're not crazy. I don't want to see boatloads of California refugees washing upon our shores, bringing their smallpox in the blankets. I don't want that. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want it. So if you got the smallpox in the blankets, stay over there. Don't come over here. And that's pretty much how that goes. Hold on. B Hart says, funny, I just got a flex alert text right now. Told everyone to avoid doing laundry tonight. You can't even do your laundry. How much does a 240 volt dryer use electricity wise? Your washer is a regular 120 volt. So try plugging up your Tesla to your garage. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. You trying to wash some underoos and dry them right quick before you got to go to work in the morning. Nope. Don't do that, man. It's too hot outside. It's going to be a problem. Put your AC on 78. You're going to be sweating, but it is what it is, man. Turn your fan off. Your ceiling fan, turn that off too, man. That's burning too much electricity. It's crazy. It's totally crazy, but I'll move right along here. So yeah, good luck, California, with trying to ban gas cars. Good luck with that. I don't see that happening in the near future. Not in a serious way. All right. Hold on. Boomhauer says, I saw 4 buses headed your way on I-75. You probably did. It's probably some Californians. They come in here by the boatload. They're moving rapido. Okay. Let's talk about Abercrombie and Fitch. So you guys may have seen this particular ad, right? The Abercrombie body positive ad. And before I begin, I'm not trying to insult people just because they're fat or whatever it is. That's not my objective. If you just really understand me, that's not my objective, because I used to be kind of fat, but not really. I was never like, Oompa Loompa, but I was bigger than I am right now, put it to you that way. Like right now I'm like basketball size, but before I was like football size. But anyway, I don't want to show that one. That's not really nice. All right. So I'll just show this right here. So this, matter of fact, hold on. Let me just show the it's a New York Post article. There we go. That'd be better. So this picture right here was an Abercrombie, part of an Abercrombie model ad on IG, on Instagram. And when this hit the internet, it got roasted to no end. So Abercrombie deleted it. So you see the headline, Abercrombie image sparks tweet storm over normalizing obesity. And if you don't know about Abercrombie, it's like a clothing, I guess you would say, brand, Abercrombie and Fitch. When I was young in high school, they had this out, and I didn't wear Abercrombie. I don't want to be racist, so don't misunderstand me, but it would seem more as like more of a white surfer type of thing. And that was done on purpose. Like, they had the models who looked pretty much like that. So if you were Abercrombie, you were kind of corny if you were black. That's just what it was when I was a kid. Don't judge me now for what 15-year-olds thought in 1999. It's not my fault. It's just what it was back then. We were wearing stuff like Fat Farm. What else? FUBU. Some local stuff like Upper 55. And then a Nietzsche came out. Stuff like that. The urban brands. But now that I'm older, when I was a young man, speaking about clothing brands, my aunt told me, I'll never forget it. Shout out to you. I ain't gonna say your name. I'm gonna put you out there. But my aunt told me, she was like, you like that name brand stuff? I was like, yeah, I gotta have it. I'm like, at the time, like 14. She's like, when you get to be older, it won't matter. And I promise you it doesn't now. I promise you it doesn't. It does not matter. I have no idea what this shirt is. I don't even really care. Somebody said, I need to go fund me to get some more shirts. I saw you, sir, in the comments. But really, I have a lot of clothes. I have a closet full of clothes, suits. I got like 4, 5, 6 suits. I got about 20 pairs of shoes. I got a lot of clothes. But it's stuff that's not necessarily like name brandy. It just looks good. That's all I really care about. And I got my own merch. I don't care nothing about no name brand stuff. But if I was in the market to buy some Abercrombie and Fitch, right? If I was in the market for that, I don't think that I would like this right here, what she's wearing. It's not even about necessarily her being obese. That's one thing. We don't want to normalize that because you're talking about health problems that can arise from that. And some are going to say, well, it's more realistic. Maybe, but should it be realistic? Should it be realistic to look like that? I don't think so. And you may say that having, if you're, especially for the men, 6'3", 6-pack abs, and you're looking like you're a movie star. And then for the young ladies, you got Kim Kardashian. Okay, I understand. Some things may be unrealistic, but a more slim physique, a more fit physique is a healthier goal to reach. If you're going to look at things that are unrealistic, what's better? An unhealthy person or a healthy person, at least appearance-wise? Because you could look like you're healthy on the outside, but be a crackhead like somebody else I know. But anyway, you could appear to be healthy physically, but be a dope fiend. You could be big like this and be okay for a while, but after a while, you're not going to be too much good anymore. If you're 25 years old and 300 pounds, you might be okay for a little bit, but once you get to be in your 30s and the knees start aching and they start kind of bowing in like that, it's going to be a problem. If you got stairs in your house, that's going to be a constant everyday battle. You're going to be breathing like you didn't ran a marathon by climbing 10 stairs in your house. It's crazy. But anyway, aside from the health part, this does not look good. You see, when I look at anything, if I shop, right? Like, for example, I went to the store Lululemon the other day, and I spent an arm, a leg, firstborn child, all that tea in China on a pair of pants. It was an impulse thing. I just wanted to do it. The pants look good, but I don't want to. The point is, I went in there, and the guy who was like the salesman was fit, had on the clothes. It looked pretty good. The mannequin, it made sense. It was like kind of like my physical body style, my body type, and it looked good on the rack. If I saw somebody modeling the clothes that didn't look good in them, that looked kind of like busted biscuit can, I'm like, I don't really see the value in paying $125 for a pair of pants. Same thing with Abercrombie and Fitch. I'm not sure how much that outfit costs, but it's not worth whatever the price is. That's not something that looks good. You see? Now, there's more pictures that look better. So here's like a full ad that it was on. And you see different kind of body types. Now, the lady right here in the pink dress, this looks a little bit better. This is like your auntie or something like that. This looks better. It's not a totally fit person, but they're not like gigantic either. This is better. That's, now over there, you still got a little bit of weight, but not as bad as this right here. Now, this, can we just get a timeout right quick? Can we get a timeout? Okay. One thing I've seen in ads a lot, all over the place. You be in Walmart, Target, it's everywhere. You can't even escape it. It's not even about just seeing a thing on the internet. I'm in Target, minding my business, going down to the vacuum section, going down to the lotion section, going down to the beard stuff. I'm going out to that section, and then I see this big ad from Revlon with a dude wearing makeup. What you also see is kind of a suspicious looking. I don't really understand what's happening here. Okay, I think that you might be a little surprised in that dress, if you catch my drift, right? A little surprised in the dress. Maybe I'm just being stereotypical, thinking about, Thai lady boys or whatever it is. But I'm just saying, in 2022, you got to ask questions. You got to be suspicious. You got to be like, is that or is it not? To the young men out here, please be vigilant. If you're going to Atlanta, young men especially, please be careful. I see them all the time. It be 6 foot tall, heels, everything. But upon further examination, you're seeing these big, strong hands, basketball playing, Paul Bunyan, nailing railroad spikes and stuff like that. Big, crazy jaw. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch out for that kind of stuff because they will fool you. They will fool you. You try to approach them. I got a story, but it's embarrassing, but I'll tell it. It wasn't that bad. So I'm a young man. I'm like, how old am I? 18, 19. I'm down the beach for like 4th of July or Labor Day or something like that. Me and my friends walking down the beach, walking on the strip, and I see a young lady, or I thought it was a young lady, walking in front of me with like some kind of shorts on and stuff. And I make a comment. I was like, wow, look at that. Homie, dude turning around. Man, I'm tired of all these catcalling, man. Stop catcalling me, man. I'm like, whoa. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I apologize. And ever since then, I had to look before I leaped. You understand? Before I make a comment or say something, I need to make sure that who I'm dealing with is who I'm dealing with. Because I don't know who this LeVar Arrington looking, Rondé and Tiki Barber looking, NFL running back getting 2,000 yards a game. I don't know who this guy was, but had me fooled. And ever since then, I've been on the lookout. I've been vigilant, and I've not been fooled since. But in Atlanta, you'll look twice. And I say all that to say this. Scarred for life? Yes, I was scarred for life. I was like, yo, sir, excuse me, what's going on here? I had no idea. Yeah. I'm confident in myself to say something like that without being judged. If you judge me, I don't care. I know I'm not LGBT. But yeah, please be careful. And these ads you're looking at, if you're looking at ads on Instagram, you scrolling and you see something you like, and you like, you might save it or something like that. Be careful. Be careful. Look before you leap. Yeah. So that's what that is. So yeah, shout out to everybody that's a natural born young lady. That's what I like. Let's put that out there. Let that be known. Natural born. If you were born with your twig and berries, I can't do nothing with you, sir. That's not really my cup of tea. If you like that, I'm not judging you, but I'm not into it. And we'll move right along. We will move right along. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. But there's quite a bit of foolery going on in these ads. A lot of digital retouching, a lot of LGBT, a lot of men dressed as women, a lot of that stuff going on. And it's unethical, really, because if I'm thinking that it's going to be an ad, like back in the day, Playboy. If you're my age, your pawpaw had a Playboy magazine up under the bed and you saw it, and it was actual women in there. But nowadays, you know, it was weird because they changed the they changed Playboy to being like no explicit content, just like regular pictures. But now they got dudes in it, like straight up dudes. Not even like guys that kind of look like they could be a little bit pretty. I'm talking about you got guys that work on trucks for a living. They get off their shift and go straight to the shoot, but look kind of feminine. It's weird. Times are changing; they really are. But what we got going on? Oh, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the NIH. Now I'm gonna get a little bit serious here. It's a little teeny bit serious. So I almost did a video on this today, but I didn't want to put it out as a video by itself. I wanted to come here and tell y'all about this particular thing, about ivermectin, IVM. Remember, they, meaning the mainstream media, they said, oh, if you take IVM to treat the bug, you're taking horse paste, horse dewormer, all this and that and the third. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find them talking about this. Because we have an update. We have an update about IVM. So here it is right here. Hold on. Inside Edition, it says, well, no. Hold on. Wait a minute.
As the COVID.
Hold up. Here we go. Let's show this right here. This is from Kilo Land News. Where is that at? I have no idea. But this says ivermectin, why you shouldn't take horse dewormer medication for COVID. Let's play it.
COVID-19 pandemic continues. Many have taken steps to help beat the virus by wearing masks and getting vaccinated. However, some have sought alternative and sometimes dangerous treatments, including a drug called ivermectin, otherwise known as horse dewormer. KELOLAND.com's Jacob Newton spoke with Beresford veterinarian Elise Rinalda. She says it's a bad idea.
Is there any situation in which a person, to your knowledge, should take animal dewormer?
No. Yeah, I mean, you're dealing with a 1,200 pound animal compared.
Okay, but why ask a veterinarian about this? What do you know about COVID-19? You're dealing with dogs and cats, ma'am. Stay in your lane. How about that?
To a 120 pound human, that concentration alone, how it's delivered, even packaged and sent, is completely different.
To read about the risks of humans taking ivermectin, check out this story on KELOLAND.com.
So that's that, right? That was the pretty much the company line. This was September 2nd, 2021. Just 1 year ago. 1 year ago they said this, but now we have an update from the federales themselves. Now let's go to the official website where they list therapies for the bug. Okay, we're on the NIH website right now. We're on COVID-19 treatment guidelines.nih.gov. We're right here. NIH, COVID-19 treatment guidelines, antiviral therapy. Okay. Remdesivir and molnupiravir, whatever it is. What's that right there? Ivermectin. What's that right there? Ivermectin. Now, this is going to be very confusing because in this article, they're going to recommend it, but then say they're not going to recommend it. They'll say all the ways that it works to help you to fight the bug, but then their conclusion is we don't recommend it except for a clinical trial. So they've been doing clinical trials. They've been studying the effectiveness of IVM on COVID, but you going to get it in the store, you're a 10-foot hat wearer. You're getting horse paste. Meanwhile, they're doing clinical trials in the federal government to see how well it works. And they got a whole report. They got everything. They got clinical data. You can download it. They got all of that. Okay. References, the whole thing. Okay. This has been going on for a long time. They know what this thing does. Right. They say that it inhibits the virus from repopulating in your cells. Basically, make a long story short. But then they say, oh, no, don't take it. Why do they say don't take it? Because they don't want you to go to the store and get the generic version that's available over the counter and cheap. They want you to get whatever they want to get you. They want you to get the pill. They got a pill coming out. And what's a pill going to be? You tell me. If you were to ask my humble opinion about what the pill is going to be, it'd probably be IVM in a pill form, or they might change one particular compound in the chemical makeup of it to make it be a little bit different to say, oh, that's not IVM, that's something else. That's not IVM, that's Pfizer VM. Take that. And it's going to be 1,000 times more expensive. That's my opinion. Same thing with HCQ. Same thing. It's cheap, over the counter, inexpensive, and it works. IVM, cheap, over the counter, and it works. So we're vindicated. Trump didn't lie. We didn't lie. We're vindicated. It has it right here on the website. They're saying that they're doing clinical trials. They see how it's effective, but they say they don't recommend it, which is silly. It's so dumb. You're doing trials. You say it's effective, but it's not recommending it. They'll let Big Pharma come and take that chemical compound and sell it to you who don't know what's going on. You'll take any kind of pill. And it's weird because they're calling it horse dewormer. Don't you know that they feed chicken antibiotics? Like if you get in one of these big Popeyes chicken sandwiches, and the chickens are like this big, you get in these big chickens, it's like the size of, you get in chicken the size of bear cubs. These chickens are humongous, right? You get in these big, fat, crazy chickens. They got all kind of hormones in it, antibiotics, all kind of stuff to make them big, fat, grow quickly, all of that. They put a lot of human things in these chickens to have that effect. But they don't say, oh, you're taking chicken medication when you're taking antibiotics, do they? But when it comes to IVM, oh, that's horse dewormer. Don't take that. Don't do that, Joe Rogan. Yeah, I know it worked for you and you had the bug and it was gone in 2 days. But let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about how we say don't take it. You could take this, but not that. You could take opiates and get hooked on it like fentanyl, which is a man-made drug. That's a big pharma creation. You could take fentanyl, get hooked on it. That's totally fine. But IVM is totally safe, non-addictive, works for the virus. Don't do that. Nah, become a dope fiend, so you got to keep buying from us. So you're dependent upon us. I'm getting triggered, so I digress. Isn't that crazy, though? They will allow opiates to be produced en masse, but IVM, they want to stop you from getting that, all those already available en masse. I mean, it's to the point where if you were to go to the store and eat a piece of watermelon and it cured a disease, they would ban watermelon. Tell me it's not safe. Really? we've had this food for eons and we all eat it and it's totally fine, but now it's not safe because it cures something and it's not expensive. I mean, come on, what are we doing? What are we doing? They want that vent turned to the max. Oh, and something else. I got something else for y'all. Now, I saw this video from Australia, and to be exact, in Tasmania, which is like right off the coast, but it's part of Australia to the south. There was a man talking about there's a big rise in funerals, like 50% increase in funerals. So he was saying that it was pretty consistent for a while as far as he's a funeral director. He's saying there was like at one point or for like 10 and a half years, about 2 to 3 funerals a week or something like that. Or I forget how many, it might've been a day or a week or something. But now there's like 6 or 7 funerals in that same period of time, a 50% increase in the past 7 months. This has happened. For 10 and a half years, it's been consistent, but now in the past 7 months, there's a big jump, 50% increase in funerals. Why? You tell me. I mean, I don't know why. I can't sit here and say that I know the reason why, but all I'm saying is there is a reason. It's not just for nothing. It's not just a coincidence. It can't be. There's got to be a particular thing that's causing this, I would think. And if it's not, then how do you explain it? So here's the video I'm talking about right here. Let's go ahead and roll this up.
Reasons we want to talk to you is I think your partner said you used to do 2 to 3 funerals a week. Now you're doing about 6 to 7. Is that correct?
Yes, well, been that busy, Michael, the last little while. Even this morning, I didn't know you were coming to town, but this morning, I counted the numbers in the book, for the past 6 months. And almost exactly, we're up in the last 6 months by 50%. So that's why we've been so busy. And I was very concerned because on Tuesday of this week, a very, very special school friend who I sat next to for 5 years. We had his funeral service on Tuesday. He was born in 1955. I'm seeing lots of people dying that are born in the 60s and beyond. So it's not just the elderly. And when you feel that something's not quite right, you'll see a death notice. We may not be the funeral directors, but I think, hang on, that person is normally a super fit person. And I've had a few instances happen in the last 6 months where it has been quite startling that they would actually pass away.
How are they passing away? Is it like slow or quick? Or what are they dying of?
Well, it seems that some are dying in their sleep. There's been 2 or 3 that I know that have had, this is not necessarily my funeral company, but there's this particular one I was thinking of, the super fit person. She died of a brain aneurysm, and I've noticed there's been 2 or 3 of those around the northern part of Tasmania. So there's something that's not quite right. It just doesn't feel right to me, and I just can't put my finger on it right now. But it seems to have happened very suddenly, because you can imagine we need to pre-plan with sort of staffing, with our premises, and it's only been the last, say, 7 months. The previous 10 and a quarter years were very, very consistent, but this has been a rapid rise in the last 6 to 7 months. So we're quite concerned.
So, I mean, you guys just tell me what's going on. I can't call it. I don't know, but there's something happening. You can't just say that a 50% increase in funerals in the past 7 months is just nothing. And then they said right here, a 16.6% rise in excess deaths in Oz, Australia. So what's causing that? Excess. What is an excess death? Excess meaning, I guess, 16.6% more than what would normally happen. Because you have like an average of deaths, like, let's say over a 10-year period, there's an average number of deaths that happen. Or let's just say from the year before, there's a certain number of deaths that happen from anything, from just old age or whatever it is, old age to homicide to disease, whatever. So, suicide. Why is it higher? I mean, y'all, I'm not gonna say nothing, but we already know kind of what's going on. We think that we have a good idea of what's happening. This part of the reason why I said from the beginning, if you got this brand new thing that's untested and nobody knows how it's going to really affect you down the line, 6 months down the line, a year down the line, 10 years down the line, it could be like those commercials where you see mesothelioma. If you were on the shipyard and you got exposed to X, Y, and Z, or the burn pit situation, if you were exposed to a burn pit, you could be part of a class action lawsuit. I did not want that to be me. And you guys probably felt the same way I felt, which is why it was a big battle over the mandates and things like that. And Anthony Fauci and all this nonsense. That's part of what's going on. Is it part of the plan? Well, maybe so. Maybe you're right about that. Maybe that's the whole point. Maybe it was a plan. But yeah, that was an interesting video from down there in Oz. Shout out to Australia. Shout out to all the Aussies. Right. And speaking about weird things, crazy things, have you guys seen this whole the leak of the Trump papers, the so-called top secret documents? Now, here's my question. First of all, do you see what's circled? A framed cover of a Time magazine? Tell me how that needs to be confiscated. Why are you confiscating that? How is that top secret? A Time magazine cover? How is that top secret? And if it's top secret, why do I look at it? Why am I seeing it right now? Why is it in front of my face on this screen right now? I didn't steal this. Why is it in front of my face? And why am I seeing these top secret files just strewn about on the ground? Who took a picture of it? Who put it out in the media? If it's so top secret, then why am I looking at it? Now, I can't see what's in the files, but why do I see anything? I shouldn't see a sheet of paper. If it's so top secret, I shouldn't know that these things exist for real. Maybe they say that they took some documents, but I shouldn't ever see anything about it. It's crazy. Whoever did this, like, this is what I'm talking about right here. See, this is bad leadership. The leadership should never allow this kind of thing to happen. You shouldn't have no cell phone. Who has their camera or their cell phone in this particular top secret place to take pictures? You know, my uncle worked he had a security clearance, right? And he could not take a cell phone in certain parts of the place where he worked, or at all to his job. Or if he had a phone, it couldn't be a smartphone. It had to be an old school flip phone because you couldn't take pictures. But somehow you're able to get into the super top secret area under federal indictment and do this? I mean, what are we even talking about? We all know this is all political. It's been political from the very beginning, and it's not going to be anything else at any other time. What are they doing? Trying to get Trump out of the running, or they're trying to make him announce? Because there was so much anger toward this whole raid thing of Mar-a-Lago that it may make him jump out there and say, you know what, I'm going to run. We can't have this anymore. These corrupt organizations are got to get brought back under control, so I'm going to run. So if he does that, then the Democrats can run on Trump coming back, and they can say, well, look, vote for me. I'll make sure Trump doesn't come back in office. Although that's not going to happen. You can't just vote for a Democrat in the House and have them prevent Trump from being reelected if he's going to be reelected. I mean, I guess you could maybe trying to pass some laws to, affect voting, I would presume, but you can't really make him not run or get reelected just from being just from being in office. Yeah, it's so crazy. Exhibit 2A. Yeah, I saw that. Just so silly. But they probably want to coax him out of non-decision land, make a decision, and then they could campaign on that. I saw Joe Biden today. I think I read something where he said, vote for a Democrat so you can get abortion or something. Like, the whole thing is, look, if you vote for us, we'll fix it. But they're in power right now. They have the House and the Senate and the presidency. So what are they going to do in the future they can't do right now? They could do things right now. They have the power. They got the votes, I guess. Maybe they don't see Joe Manchin as a reliable vote, but maybe Manchin will vote for him if they didn't have all these ridiculous and radical things. They want to get the radical people on the board that are pretty much do whatever they're told to do. That's what they want. But we can't have that, not at all. Not in the least bit. Do I have more for you guys? Hey, shout out to you, Silent Meme Jordy. Hey, I see this right here on Twitter. That's crazy. How'd you do this? Like, I'm live right here. And look at this right here. Look at this. Do you guys see the meme with the Glenn Youngkin, tiki torches? He put my face right now with the headphones and everything on the actual, the black guy and the tiki torches. Hilarious. Shout out to you, sir. I appreciate the meme. The memory is fantastic. But yeah, I got to find something I was trying to find. I got to find this particular thing. Yeah, I'm seeing something about some marathon runners dropping dead during the marathon. That's no bueno. But I wanted to find a video that I had saved up for you guys. And I'll play that right quick. And then I'll keep on rocking here. I will keep on moving and grooving. And if you like what you hear so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me do this here. All right. I got some memes I'm going to show. And I got a video of your man, Joe Biden. Joe Biden's out there on the campaign trail trying to help people get elected, but I don't think he's doing a very good job. Matter of fact, I know he's not doing a very good job, as Joe Biden does not do a good job all the time. So here's a couple of videos right quick. Matter of fact, here's some memes in the videos. So we got grand old memes. You got Lori Lightfoot standing on the carpet. Remember the carpet, it said it was something where it was like some money on the ground and it said get tested or something. I forget what it said. But here she is with all the FBI evidence and the FBI hat on. So shout out to Lori Lightfoot for that particular meme. And then you have the guys. What are those? Are those Wojaks? I'm not sure what they are. But these meme guys pointing at all the FBI evidence. Shout out to those guys. And here is Joe Biden telling a very strange story. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
If I can just interject for a moment, my deceased son, Bo, he was the Attorney General of the state of Delaware. And what he used to do is go down on the east side, what's called the Bucket, highest crime rate in the country. There's a place where I was the only white guy that worked as a lifeguard down in that area, on the east side. And you know you can always tell where the best basketball in the state is and the best basketball in the city is. It's where everybody shows up.
Okie dokie. That's him talking about that. And here's his AR-15 stance.
Did you realize the bullet out of an AR-15 travels 5 times as rapidly as a bullet shot out of any other gun?
All right, so just any other rifle and any kind of weapon is not really, it's going to be that much faster out of the AR-15 specifically. Which AR-15 are we talking about? Because that's not really. See, people like Joe Biden play upon the ignorance of the American voter or the perceived ignorance of us, which is insulting because you think that we're dumb. We don't know anything. We don't know any better. So you could pretty much say, hey, the moon is made from cheese, and we'll just believe that. We'll just take that because we're just silly. We know nothing. That's kind of what's going on. Oh, and there was one more video. Hold up. I gotta play this one. I may not have played it before. I got one more video. Then I got super chats on deck. I'll get to those in a minute. But I gotta play this one because this was just rich. I'm talking about it was Elon Musk rich, Bill Gates rich. All right, hold on 1 second here. Let me find that right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, you know the drill, you know what to do. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And if you're not subscribed right now, please subscribe to the channel. And oh, here we go. Talking about Black and Hispanic borrowers and the whole student loan kerfuffle. Yeah, let's check this out right quick.
Many of you had to leave school because the financial strain was much too high. About a third of the borrowers have debt but no degree, and worst of both worlds, debt and no degree. The burden is especially heavy on Black and Hispanic borrowers, who on average have less family wealth to pay for it. They don't own their homes to borrow against to be able to pay for college.
So we don't own our homes to borrow against to pay for college. First of all, like, I'm in my house right now that I own. Like, I'm literally in my house right now that I own. So I'm Black. So how does that really work? I don't own my house to borrow against. And that's not how student loans even work. You're not borrowing against your house to pay for college. You're going to get a student loan. Typically, that's how that works. You won't get a second mortgage to pay for your college. This ain't 1960s. This is 2022. You got federal student loans out there. You would get a student loan and pay for it that way, or a scholarship, or you would work. I've not seen anybody take out a second mortgage to pay for college. I guess it could happen, but who's doing that really? If you are an underprivileged person, you're able to get your financial aid and all that good stuff. So it's just kind of silly that he would say something like that. And if you have a non-federal loan, that won't get forgiven anyway. And his plan, but the plan probably won't come to fruition because you cannot pass a plan like that without going through Congress. Nancy Pelosi said this last year because he was getting criticized last year for not following through with his promise. But she was like, hey, he can't do that. He's got to go through Congress. But now all of a sudden he can just bypass Congress and do that on his own? I think not. Even if he does try to pass it through executive order, it's going to get challenged in court and it's going to get struck back down. So, yeah, that's crazy. Borrowing against your house. Why would I take out a second mortgage to pay for college, a second mortgage? It makes no sense. Yeah, and like I say, even if you did do that, that would not get forgiven in this plan. That's a personal loan. That's like going and getting a loan to, I don't know, to buy a car or something like that. That's not how that works. And that's right, One Hope. I can't use a computer. I don't have an ID. I don't have no house. I'm just out here, man, caveman style. I have no idea what's going on. It's crazy. Yeah, I can't get on no plane. I don't got no passport. I have nothing, man. I just have no access to anything. It's so dumb. I mean, even if you don't have these things, it's not hard to get it. How hard is it to get the ID or even the passport? It's not difficult to get a passport. Not everybody has one of those, but it's not hard to get it. Go to the library and, do a few things and you good. But anyway, I digress. Dent Machine says, a second mortgage you got to buy an EV. Yeah, you might need a second mortgage to get an electric vehicle. That might be what happens in California if you can't get gas at a gas station because it costs too much on purpose, so you will not drive a gas car anymore. Take out mortgage on your home to buy an electric vehicle, to buy you a Tesla, and have that battery go up in flames, hotter than the sun, burn your whole house down in the garage, burn your house to toothpicks. And it's hot out there in California. Oh my goodness. Imagine one of these electric vehicles goes up and causes a forest fire. That'd be crazy. That'd be nuts. But hey, man, you get what you asked for. All right. We have some super chats on deck. I'm going to get to those and then I'm going to get to the calls. Thank you, Bob K. MIT. Bob says, help for getting your ID. But hey, man, I'm going to need to figure out a way to get that. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate you. All right. Let me go to the supers here. We can go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Let's see. Where are the supers at? Where are they trying to hide? The 31st. Let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you to Apple for a few supers here. It says, how's premiere of Uncle Tom 2? Whom did you meet? Photo, please. I showed that at the beginning. But yeah, Uncle Tom 2, for you guys who are just now coming in, the premiere was amazing. Had a great time. Met a lot of great people. A lot of friends I saw, again, who I hadn't seen in a while. So it was amazing. It was definitely an experience. Definitely a night to remember. Love Texas. Shout out to Dallas. Very good host. It was amazing. Apple also says, talk about that red wave. Talk that red wave going to fizzle. You agree? Hope not. I don't know why that's being said. Why? Well, I know why it's being said from the left because they don't want to give us confidence. But I don't understand why anybody on the right would say something like that, talking about the red wave going to fizzle, because it seems counterproductive. You see what I mean? It seems like they're trying to also decrease our confidence that we're going to be successful in the midterms. It's really weird. I don't understand where that's coming from. We'll be fine in the midterms. Apple also says, community like Biden, miss Trump. What's the word? They miss Trump. Some miss Trump, but some people have bought into this whole thing of Trump's a racist, and they can't get that out of their head. So they don't really like Biden either. But if you were to ask them who would they want to vote for, and they were being serious and honest, they'd probably say Biden a lot of the times. But a lot of people are starting to wake up. Every day I meet somebody, not every day, but quite often I meet somebody, a black person who is being red pilled, and they think differently than they did before about Joe Biden, about Donald Trump. So people are starting to change, but I think overall the community will still vote Democrat. Even though they don't like him, although he said, hey, vote for me or you ain't black, it doesn't matter. They're still going to vote for him, but not as much as before. It's going to take a while for that kind of curse to get lifted, but it's going to get lifted. Also, Apu says, God bless J6 MAGA Patriots and DC jail solitary. Also, Karen JP, I'm not sure what that is. Karen JP says, MAGA are a threat to democracy. Oh, you're talking about Corinne Jean-Pierre. I guess you were saying Karen as a funny way. So Corinne Jean-Pierre says, MAGA are a threat to democracy. Agree? Not at all. That's just them trying to divide us. You know, when Biden came in office, or before he was coming in office, he said, I'll be the great uniter. I will not divide you. But yet I'm hearing all this about MAGA, 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 ultra MAGA, nuclear MAGA, super MAGA, dark MAGA, all kind of silly stuff just aimed at division. So if you want to be a unifier, I can't tell. You appear to be doing the exact opposite, sir. Mike H says, hi, hail ABL. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Apple says, best country fair food, best county fair food, best county fair ride. County fair food, probably the corn dog. Yeah, corn dog, especially that's always what I get at a county fair. And a lemonade. That's what I got on West Virginia the other day. They had this festival down by the oceanfront, not oceanfront, the riverfront, in the ocean in West Virginia. But it was a festival down there. I got a corn dog and a lemonade. And the county fair ride, it did not have rides there, but the one that I would normally get on is like, when I was a kid, especially the spinner, the UFO. Yeah. If you rode a UFO spinner at a county fair or a carnival or something like that, oh yeah, you have the ultimate vax. You don't need to get any kind of vax. You are rock solid. Your immune system is, because if you ever been in one of those rides, those alien spinners at a carnival or a fair, somebody at some point is going to vomit and it's going to get on you. So that right there is the ultimate vax, in my opinion, to get exposed to whatever they had. You getting corn dogs and funnel cakes and all that on you. I'm sorry, that was gross. I'll move on. Michael Critchlow says, I already answered that one. Apple also says, ABL, scale of 1 to 10. How good of a swimmer are you? I'm a decent swimmer. I can swim. I'm probably about a 6 swimmer. I can do enough to get from point A to point B. I'm not going to be like Michael Phelps in there doing all kind of crazy tricks and dives and all that kind of stuff, but I can swim. Can I do a somersault in the water while diving? Nah, I'm not Greg Louganis or Michael Phelps or what's your boy's name? Leah Thomas. I'm not these people. Okay, I'm not going to be doing all these things in there. All right. Also, do I like eating popcorn? Oh, did I eat popcorn during Uncle Tom too? Do I like popcorn? No, I didn't. I was trying to get something to drink, but it was so busy, obviously, because I'm on the red carpet doing all that kind of stuff. So I did not have time really to even get all of that. But I wish I did. That I recognized on the street in Dallas on the plane. Nah, not on the street. In the event, yes, of course, but not on the street or anything like that. It's kind of a toss-up whether people recognize me or not. Also, he says, Antifa guarded drag queen show for kids in tech. I saw that. Yeah, the John Brown Gun Club, if I'm not mistaken, they guarded the Antifa drag queen show for kids. And how did we get to the point where we say it's okay to allow drag queens to perform in front of children? There was one quote unquote drag queen where their breasts got exposed in front of kids. Now, how is that okay? How can anybody tell me that it's okay to have nudity in front of children, like live and in person? I ain't talking about it's a movie and it happens by accident. I'm talking about you take your kids to this event where the guy is going like this and he has breasts. Like, and then it was a whole thing trying to defend, talking about the nipple is not something that is offensive. It's like, really? For real? Come on. What part of the game is that? But I digress. Antifa has real guns, or are they airsoft rifles? They might have real guns. They probably have real guns. Thank you to Lancelot for your donation. The straight face emoji. Thank you to Noah Garcia, who says, when Cali goes totally EV, they're going to beat that annoying friend that asks if you have a charger when they visit. Hilarious. I was not in this film, but they're going to do more from that, because without saying too much, I can't really talk about it a lot, but there's a lot more footage that you have not seen. So there's going to be more. Like I said, I did a discussion with a roundtable with Brandon Tatum, Jesse Lee Peterson, Colonel Alan West, and Chad Jackson, who is the guy behind the movie on the cover and everything. So I did that when I was in Dallas, and I'll be doing a lot more with these guys. So Uncle Tom 2 will not be the last of content you see from these guys. Put it to you that way. There shall be more. But since I'm involved with everything, I still did the red carpet. I still did everything that everybody else did for the most part. Thank you, Buffers Windshield, for the #1 emoji. Did I get everybody else? Hold on. Let's go down and see if I missed anything. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says, I know why Biden had Mar-a-Lago raided. Thank you to A Kano, who says, love you, man. Good show. Give Jericho a big hug next time you see him. Oh, I did. Right when I saw him, I was so excited. Yeah, I gave him a big hug there. Love that, mother trucker. Stay informed, ABL Nation. Thank you for that. Bob versus Windshield says, the $500 billion student relief is a scam. Biden will sick his new IRS on those who contact loaners for forgiveness. Then he will say, look, the IRS is working. Yeah. Exactly. It's kind of like if you want to call a tip line on yourself. I was like, sir, you're not helping. You're going to get yourself hemmed up. So let's not do that. Oh, that's Skippy Devin? Hold on. I'm sorry. Thank you to Devin, who says, disappointed at the lack of coverage on the anniversary of Afghanistan. Biden has interrupted us on both mainstream and alternative media. Never forget. I'm not sure what you mean. Afghanistan? Were you talking about when they when they pulled out of Afghanistan? Was that a year ago? I'm not sure what you mean there. And thank you for being a member for 27 months as well. I appreciate that. Thank you to Noah Garcia, who says, MySpace Tom about to make a strong comeback. Hey, man, MySpace was the best social media platform ever. He never blocked us. He never censored us. We could make money from. I designed MySpace layouts. MySpace was. If you weren't there, you had to be there to experience it. You had to be there, man. What we have now is cool, but MySpace was the OG. So hold on. Let me see the. Oh yeah, so that was August 30th, 2021 when they pulled out. I had no idea it was 1 year since then. 1 year, it went by so fast. That's crazy. That was probably the biggest debacle in recent American history was the Afghanistan withdrawal. Left all the equipment. People were dying, hanging on the plane. I have never seen anything like that in my life. It was a complete mess. A complete mess. They won't cover that in the media because that is not a good moment in American history for Joe Biden especially. Now, if it was Donald Trump, they would cover it because it's like, look, see how bad he's doing. They wouldn't care that it looked bad on America, that it looked bad on us, because what's more important at that point to them would be to hurt Trump and Trump supporters rather than making America look strong to the outside world and strong to the inside, because we got to have some kind of morality, some kind of morale boost here. We don't want to look like we don't know what's going on and kind of like lost out here. You want to know that your leaders have a sense of direction, that you know where you're going. If you're on this boat and you're being led by somebody and they're lost, tell them let's pull over right here. I'm gonna pull into the Buc-ee's to get some directions. It's like, well, wait a minute, sir. Do you know where you're going? Why should I follow you? That just kills morale. Oh, and one more thing. They're going to UBI in LA. So they're going to have 1,000 people get $1,000 a month extra with UBI. Now, here's my stance on UBI that I came up with today. I was talking about it today to myself. I was thinking about it. I may even do a video on it to give another. I've done these videos before, but I might do another one just to give the update about UBI. People think that if you get $1,000 in UBI, that people that have low-paying jobs will keep those jobs and then stack the 1,000 on what they do to make ends meet. That's the typical thought process from those big brain geniuses that live up high and stay down on the poors on the lower level. But what ends up happening is people just will take that money and do the bare minimum to get by. So they're going to work less because they got free money. You see what I'm saying? Like that was a pandemic in a nutshell. That was a preview of UBI. After you could go back to work, you could still, do your thing. People didn't want to go back. They're on unemployment and they're satisfied. Especially when unemployment paid more than their job did. If you got a STEMI and it was the equivalent to what you were getting paid or a little bit less, why work? I got my money I need right there. If you were smart, you would keep working and stack it, but that's not how people operate when you're in a low-level society like that. When you're dealing with poor people who are chronically poor and they want to be poor and they're kind of lazy. Now, I don't mean those who are poor and they're ambitious and they're trying to grind and get up. I'm not speaking about those. I'm talking about people that want to be poor, like crackheads. If you give a crackhead all these creature comforts to be out on the street and just chill, they're going to be on the street and just chill. That's how that typically operates. Matter of fact, I got another video for you guys. I'm gonna get to the calls in a minute. One more video, I promise, and I'll be done with this part of the show. And thank you guys for being here. You guys are fantastic. Couldn't do it without you. Y'all know what it is. But here's a great video that explains it, the whole homeless problem. Matter of fact, I won't do that right now. I'm gonna do a video about that because I'm kind of running low on time. But there was a video where a homeless guy explained, he was like, look, these people, you keep giving them things, you keep helping them. They have no incentive to actually rise up from where they are right now. They're going to stay right there because all they need is this tent. All they need is some food and some water, and they're good. They have no incentive to do better than what they're doing right now. That's UBI. That's a stimulus. That's what that did. And still to this day, you got staffing shortages. Why? I got my stimulus money. I got unemployment. I can exist on the bare minimum. That's, a lack of morale, a lack of drive, and it's really bad. But I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. And it's time for the calls. Numbers right there, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email for a Skype in the description. If you want to call in, you could be right here in the bottom left-hand corner, talk about whatever's going on. That's kind of like on topic a little bit. If Skype wants to act wrong or act up, it's not my fault. Please blame the white man. It's not my fault at all. All right. So let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling here. 360, you don't line who am I speaking to?
Mel Carter Jr.
All righty, what's happening?
Hey, man. It's been a while since I spoke with you. I love your show. And the reason I called was you were talking about the electric car thing, and then that's one of the things. The main thing with my mind was like, I think we'd all like to have something like that to do 500 miles before charge. But see, the power grids, in my mind, I was talking to a guy last week about this. They're already strained. So if they're strained, and we get everybody in electric cars, they're really going to go down. That you get my point there, AB?
Absolutely. Like right on. That's what's going on right now in California. The power grid is strained right now, and they're not anywhere near 100% electric vehicles. So when it gets to the 100% electric vehicles, how are they going to bolster the grid to maintain it? They're not really going to be able to. It's going to be a big mess.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you and I were going to do this, we would have to have those things in place first to assure that when everybody mustered up to get those things going on, it would be okay. And we wouldn't have an electrical problem. But, in the foreseeing future, I don't see how that's going to work.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, the technology is not there today. They're trying to do things for a reality that it doesn't exist. If you had like a better grid or a better way to power these vehicles, then it would make sense. But that's not where we are right now today. So they're doing things that don't make any sense. They're doing things for political purposes.
Exactly. And then as far as, on the next topic is, a lot of people don't like the Orange Man, but the Orange Man did try to close our border. And then when I see Jean-Pierre, whatever her name is, making excuses, look, we got drugs coming in, fentanyl, we got human trafficking, and all this other stuff. Look, if the border was closed and everybody came in here and assimilated properly, the right way, which I'm all for immigration and assimilation, it would be better. But I don't think they really care about it. And I think this is the sickening part to me. I'm 54 years old. And the sickening part is I think they're just looking for a vote. And that's sick.
Yeah, I believe so. It really is sick because they're doing things that are going to harm their constituents to get votes to rule over them, to quote unquote help them. But in the process of doing things that are going to harm them, it's really, really terrible that they're doing that.
Well, I think it's bad, honestly, because I've been following politics since about Ronald Reagan. I think I was about 15 years old, and I couldn't vote yet. But, I switched to the Conservative Party when I turned 15. And it was due to, because I owned a small business, and it had to do with business taxes. So, a lot of people out there want everything for free. You and I both know life ain't free, and you get what you work for. If you work real hard, you probably will do pretty well. But you got a lot of folks out there that they watch too much television, and unfortunately, the television, whether it be Hollywood or the news conglomerates, are controlled by the other side, and people eat that stuff up. And so then they call the conservative side, we're the fascists, we're the racists. And quite frankly, I honestly believe that they are the fascists because they're trying to shove all of this stuff down their kids' throats, our throats, force us to do things that we don't want to do, drink Jell-O, and people are dropping like flies. They don't want to talk about it. So I know you have other callers, AB. I love your show, man, but give me your thoughts on that, okay?
Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. The whole thing is crazy what's going on right now, but it's nuts what people will do for power. They'll do anything for power. Money is one thing, but power, they will do anything for power. And it's really pretty scary what they'll do. They'll hurt the American people. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll steal, to do anything. Shout out to the Clintons. 860 on the line I'm speaking to.
Hey, DL. It's Up and A Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
All right. I just want to let you know right off the bat, the whole reason Joe Biden had the FBI raid Mar-a-Lago, he wants to plagiarize that letter that Kim Jong-un sent Trump because he knows it was a lot nicer and more respectful than one he got. Out in California, I got a solution for them since they love to exercise so much.
They need to get them stationary bicycles and put a car alternator on it. That way they can pedal, charge their car at the same time, maybe do a load of laundry, and you can call it charger size.
And they might do something like that. If they do that, I wouldn't be surprised.
I want $1 a unit to whoever puts that out there for my idea, because I put it out first. Charger size. Anyhow, on to the pandemic. We've been talking about this for 2 years, and wow, they're finally catching up with what I said in the beginning, aren't they?
Yeah, right on.
2 days ago, England's medical authority quietly put out that this shot may not be safe for pregnant women and young children. But we don't want to let anybody know that we changed our guidelines on that. So anyhow, can I explain to you what's happening with the people dying?
Go for it.
All right. Here you go, people. High school dropout. Of course, I do have a degree in aviation maintenance technologies with a 4.0. But anyhow, Dr. Ryan Cole, when he spoke at the White Coat Summit 2 years ago, he's a pathologist. And for those people that don't know what a pathologist is, that's Quincy Adams. He figures out what kills people. And one of the things he pointed out is they're not doing autopsies. And then when you look on YouTube, you can find his video where he talks at the White Coat Summit. Dr. Ryan Cole, pathologist, talking at the White Coat Summit. That's a room full of doctors. So he must know what he's talking about if he's talking to a room full of doctors as the lecturer.
Yes.
And I ain't got to be that smart to know he's smarter than I am in that area. So then 2 years ago, about when they were talking about mandates, you are going to get this vaccine because it's a solution, not the solution to your problem, solution to our problem. And Dr. Christina Parks, see, 5 years ago, I started getting I'm 62 years old, so I was getting up there in the late 50s, and I had an awesome job. I I got fired over it because of this crap here, but that's okay. But I started getting the flu shot every year. And Dr. Christina Parks, when she testifies in front of Michigan's legislation, she happens to be a black woman, and she also happens to be a double PhD in molecular biology and molecular chemistry. And she explains that these mRNA shots and what they do. And about the second or third year, it shows the body how to attack your cells. So the third year I got the flu vaccine 5 years ago, I was near death for 6 weeks, literally. My wife worked for my doctor at the time. She put the clip, and she's Filipina, and she put the clip on my right hand, my ring finger, and took it off, put it on my left hand, went and got another machine, put it on both hands, and she goes, huh? I said, what? She goes, you're dead. There's no oxygen in your blood.
Wow.
That's a true story. I was making $47 an hour, and I was so sick that I could not drag my butt to work for 6 weeks. And after that, I quit getting the flu shot. I said, I'm done with these damn vaccines. But here's what's happening now, because just the other day, a 17-year-old girl here in Connecticut in National Guard doing training exercise dropped dead.
Yeah.
I'm 62 years old. Never in my life have I ever seen where high schools are starting to require EKGs for high school kids to play sports. That's horse hockey. This is not crazy. This is criminal. This is criminal. This is extermination at the world level. And here's what's happening. The mRNA shot, which is not a vaccine, the CDC changed the definition of the vaccine 3 times since 2015, and you can check that. The definition of a vaccine since the beginning of time until 2015 has always been a weakened or dead virus injected into the body to strengthen and boost the body's natural immune system. That's what it's always been. And they changed that in 2015, 3 times since 2015 to suit their needs. Here's what's going on. This shot, and you'll see Dr. Cole explain it, but I get to thinking about this stuff, and I'm a mechanic, so it just makes sense to me what's going on in the body is this shot causes your body to make spike proteins. The spike protein is a spike, okay? What do you use to kill a vampire?
Yeah, spike, little
I'm
steak.
just saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. A wooden spike. So anyhow, when you start exercising, getting that blood flowing and pumping, which of your muscles in your body is needing the most nutrients and oxygen going to it? Your heart. So these spike proteins are being shot at the heart at a high rate of speed under high pressure, and it's blowing these kids' hearts to pieces. And I'll guarantee you 2 years from now, they'll be saying that. Hopefully after the criminal prosecutions.
Hopefully so.
But that's my thesis on this matter, and it's just everything I've researched, because I've read some of the comments in the chat. And let me tell you something. My first job from the time I was 18 till I was 23 years old, I was a radio teletype operator. And when I was not out around the world causing mayhem and mischief, I was in the headquarters for a 3-star general in charge of 3 countries worth of nuclear missiles.
Right
I
on.
literally sent and received emails to and from Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, everywhere, you know? So I know how these people talk. I know how they think.
Right on.
And if they actually had, I'm sorry, I got to go because you got other callers, ABL. I'm sorry.
It's all good, man.
I'm going on.
Thank you for your call as always,
But,
man. I appreciate
love
you.
I love you. God bless your show. God bless America. Let's get this straightened out. These kids are dying over criminal activities. It's monstrous.
Right
All
on.
right. God bless.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
care.
you. All right.
Bye.
All right. Great call. Fantastic call. 810, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Randy.
All right, man. What's going on?
Not a lot. What's up with you?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
Oh, hey. I'm sorry. I was watching you live. Hey, on this raid, I'll talk about it real quick if you don't mind.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, here's the deal. Either we've got the dumbest DOJ and FBI in the world, possibly, or they do not care at all of how this looks. Now, here's the reason I say that, okay?
Both?
Unless they're nuts, they knew going in that 50% of the country are not going to believe it regardless. Now, if they find he had nuclear secrets, pick anything you want to name, I'm never going to buy it. Now, what they should have done under the circumstances, especially with being a past president, they should have had them there, his team, I'm saying Trump's, they should have meticulously documented everything and videotaped it all and took pictures so there would be no later saying, well, we found this, we found that. Because Trump would always see what they'd taken that he had. Now, does he have it documented? I hope he does. Because, anyway, so under these circumstances, they're either the dumbest people in the world or they do not care or they got something in mind because it should have been thoroughly documented, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just boggles my mind that anybody in the DOJ and the FBI at any level would look at us and say, hey, we got to thoroughly document this because no one's ever going to believe this at all. So what's the only other answer I come up with is they don't care, right?
Yeah, they don't really care. Like they don't care, and they're not very competent at the leadership level.
Right. Well, I know you probably have their calls and stuff, but anyway, real quick, and sure. I mean, no matter what they say at this point, are you going to buy it because they didn't document it? I'm sure so. Sure, I'm not.
Well, you're talking about the FBI? I don't buy anything that they say at this point because the credibility has been shot.
No, I'm just saying. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. What was your question?
No, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. No, I was going to say, No, I don't care what they say at this point. They say they found, because like I said, they could have easily done this and documented it thoroughly and had Trump's teams and lawyers there recording everything they took. They should have been the most. They should have had. It should have been the most meticulously documented search and taking of anything that's ever happened in our country. Almost. I mean, really, right?
Yeah, it was something for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I'll leave you alone. Nice talking. Hey, I love your show, man. Have a good evening now. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And you guys are fantastic for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Your line speaker 2757.
ABL, how you doing? Lady calling.
Are you on speaker?
Can you hear me?
Are you on speaker?
No, I'm at work. I'm on. I have to be on my earbud.
Okay.
I do apologize for that. Just real quick though, about the electric cars. Have you heard of the nuclear diamond battery?
The what now?
NDB, nuclear diamond battery.
No, I haven't.
They're taking carbon 14, carbon 16 from the nuclear waste that were from nuclear power plants, make it into, they found this blue diamond that generates electricity. So they're making a bunch of these blue diamonds from the carbon waste. And they're making electricity with them. They're coming out right now. They're coming out with a smartwatch at the end of this year. It's going to supposedly, they say, last for 1,000 years on a single charge. Elon Musk, in 5 years, is proposing to replace all the lithium-ion batteries in his car, in all of his cars, with this nuclear diamond battery, NDB. It's going to be safer, not going to explode, and you're going to have to charge it less. So they're betting big on these batteries coming out. And the 2035, no more gas cars.
That's a big bet. That's a really big bet, because if it doesn't work out, you put a lot of money and a lot of, it's going to be a big bet. So, I mean, if they can have these batteries where they'll last for forever and not going to blow up or nothing like that, then it'd be fantastic. But it's not here yet. I mean, do they have any of these batteries in production? Are there any of these batteries out there in the wild that I could see in use?
Right. That's what I said. They're coming out at the end of this year with a smartwatch. The battery is going to be in a smartwatch.
Okay.
The first battery is going to be in a smartwatch at the end of this year. But that's all I wanted to put out there. It's a pretty cool system if you want to look it up. Thank you. I love your show. Have a great day.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, so, I mean, these batteries, it's a really big bet. I mean, you're talking about putting it all on black in Vegas. Like, yo, me get $1 trillion on black. Psh. And if you lose, man, your whole shirt, everything is gone. Your shirt, your house, your country, everything is gone. So we'll see. We'll see if they actually come to fruition. I'm skeptical. Like I say, anything that's brand new like that, that's not tested, I'm skeptical. Because you can make all kind of assertions. You could say all kind of things, but it doesn't mean that it's going to actually happen, right? It doesn't mean that. It could happen, possibly, but maybe it won't happen. And how would you know the difference? How would you know if, until you can actually prove it, and then you'll see it. I got to see it in action. I got to see how it's going to work. I got to see the long term, the short term. I got to see all that good stuff. All right, that's kind of what's going on. All right. 470, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. Hey, this is Greg from Wild and Wacky Atlanta. How you doing, sir?
It's all good, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, good. I just want to turn up the volume on my phone. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, well, first of all, I'd like to start off with the whole electric car business. This is really pissing me off because Pete Buttigieg says, about 5 weeks ago or so, the more pain people feel at the pump, the more it's going to help people to have electric cars or something like that, which makes no sense. I mean, this is only hurting the poor. Your average retail clerk only makes about $22,500 to $25,000 a year. So how are they going to buy a 10-year-old used car when they can't afford to buy an electric car?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. See, people like that, they don't understand. I think it's weird how people in government are pretty incompetent, or maybe they just are being told to say certain things and they don't even understand what they're saying. They're being told to go out there and say, hey, if there's a problem with the gas, say buy an electric car, but they don't understand how that even works. It's pretty sad, actually.
Yeah, well, you can't, when you make $25,000 a year, you can't afford to buy a new car, let alone even a 15-year-old car. The money's just not there. You're not even really making ends meet. You don't, if you do, you're not having any money to save. So let's just make poor people poorer in the meantime because they can't afford to buy an electric car. It makes no sense. I mean, I live in a condo complex, and we have about 89, 90 people here. They're all a bunch of old rich liberals. The vast majority of them are in their early, mid-70s. And I think only about 2 or 3 people here have electric cars. So what does that say to you about these people?
Right.
And they're Democrats, too.
Exactly.
So why aren't they having more electric cars? And if they do, the ones that do have electric cars, how are they going to power them up? I don't see any chargers here in the parking deck. It just makes no sense. We just don't have the technology to switch over to this green energy. So, and not only that, the lithium for the batteries is mined in communist China. So, so you want us to the Biden and his regime want us to become more dependent on communist China?
Right. Also harmful to the environment to do all that mining for these rare earth minerals.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only that, I heard about 3 weeks ago that one electric car battery is like $15,000. So a poor person in retail who's making $25,000 a year after taxes and health insurance deduction, and they're supposed to afford that's like 3/4 of what they make in a year just for the battery. I mean, it makes no sense at all. It's just retarded.
Right.
So anyway, enough about that. That Abercrombie model, man, she was really sexy. Wow. That chick was like 3-4 times fatter than me. Yeah, I think they should ban that for being offensive. That's just gross. They just want to have these fat models the past 4 or 5 years, for like Swimsuit Illustrated, but they'll never have a 250, 300-pound fat guy on there.
Oh, never.
Isn't that kind of like discrimination? That's not being inclusive at all, I don't think.
Hey, I saw a music video. I saw a music video for Lizzo, the really big female artist. And
she's 300 pounds.
Yeah, and in the video, she had a love interest, and he was like an international supermodel. You're talking about washboard abs, the whole thing. It's like, wait a minute. Why not have a body positive male in the video as the love interest? Why has it got to be Tyson Beckford, some beautiful man? Like, why has it got to be him? Yeah.
Yeah, I call her Lizard. And she recently said that she finds short men disgusting while she's like 250, 300 pounds.
Right. Exactly.
That's a little bit hypocritical. I think you're disgusting, Lizard, and you need to lose all that weight. So, anyway, man, you be safe and be careful out there, So I haven't gotten shot yet in Atlanta, so it's a really good day.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic.
Hey, man, have a great day, and you take care. Be safe.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, as always. Bye.
Yeah, so speaking about Lizzo, so here's a picture from that video I'm talking about. Like, all right, so you have Lizzo, and then you have Tyson Beckford. Tyson Beckford is an international supermodel, and he's been like that for forever. He's like 50 years old in this picture, or older than that. You see what I'm saying? And then you have Lizzo. So my thing is, it's like, all right, you get to be big, beautiful, all this and that and the third, but why can't the guy that you with, like, a model? It's so weird. It's so weird. Hollywood it's weird. It's been like that for a long time, though. This ain't nothing new for real. All right, let's go. 619, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Keith.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, calling out of crazy California. And I'm calling. I want to speak on crazy news scum up in Sacramento. Yeah, they're fighting to take away our gas-fueled cars. You know, they want to make everybody have electric. But we're all wondering here as we live in this obnoxious state is how the grid is going to handle all this, because we already have blackouts now. And they keep cutting people. Like right now, we've got 100-degree heat going on. And there's blackouts. So, you know, they can't answer the question. If you listen to any of the your local board or supervisor meetings, which I do weekly, and am involved in them, if you listen to them talk, they never mention anything about the grid, you know, and how they plan on supporting the grid or rebuilding or whatever. It's just about, let's get rid of the fossil fuel. That's what it's about. And on another thing that I want to discuss about California is that there are people here, there are a lot of, I don't know where the heck they're coming from. There's a lot of progressives moving out here, making it worse, which they're requesting shutdown. Like they want California shut down. And they wear masks everywhere in this 100-degree heat. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in the South. I came out here because I'm military. Well, out of the military now, but I ended up staying here, and that was probably the worst decision I ever made. And hopefully I'll get out of here sooner than later. But there's an agenda going on out here, which is crazy. If you ever listen to the wording, it's always equity, equality, and sustainability. Like those are the three major, and there's other terms too, but those three words, those terms, definitions, are used for everything out here. Everything to do with money.
Yeah.
You'll hear those three things. The agenda out here is just nuts. So I guess I'm just wondering if anybody else around the United States, since I'm stuck out in common California, I wonder if you guys are hearing this in your states, you know, and you're watching your local board meetings or getting involved, if you're dealing with any of this. I was just wondering.
That's a great question. I'm sure that it's like that all over the place, you know, depending upon where you live, certain cities, certain towns, you might have a radical person that comes on board. Like they might hire a new person and then they become radical and then it becomes a whole big mess. That's probably going all over the place.
Yeah, and I just wondered about that because every meeting, that's all they ever talk about, those three things. You hear it for everything. Anything to do with money, you hear those three words. And you're like, you know where this is going. You know, I wish people out here would just be clear on what they say. Say, you know what? We don't want to hire white people. We don't want white people anymore. We want to kill the white man. Because that's really what they're trying to say. And there are people coming over here who have white skin from other countries. They don't know how to categorize themselves. So they mark, you know, Caucasian or whatever on their applications or whatever because they don't know how to be categorized. And, you know, so they're going to lose out, although they're not from this country. And it's just sad that we've come down to let's base everything on skin color, you know, or where you're living at, what area you're living at, and give those people more. Because to me, that's not being equal. It's not being fair. And just because someone's skin color is lighter doesn't mean that they don't work as hard or have worked harder to get where they're at. I am a lighter skin, but I'm mixed, and I serve my country. And I would rather people come over here into this country legally and do something like serve the military. You know, if you really love this country, learn our history, learn English, and serve your country. Anyway, that's just my opinion. And I thank you so much for taking my call. I love you, ABL. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, great call. Fantastic call. 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL? It's JB Scott from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm just enjoying the show as always. Everybody's making really good points tonight, so I really don't have too much to add, honestly. I just wanted to make a comment about the video you made earlier about the Abercrombie and Fitch picture.
Oh, yeah.
What in the hell were they thinking? I don't know. I'm like, okay, guys, come on. You can only go so woke so far. I mean, let's just be real, okay? But then you said a couple things that that's what I wanted to tell you and call out and give you props to. You shouted out to two of the greatest supermodels ever, which were Tyra Banks and Cindy Crawford.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh my God, in the 90s, they ruled the night.
They sure did. They were amazing at that and during that time.
Oh yeah, back when models were still like tall and hot.
Right.
Yeah, and then you mentioned Zoe Kravitz as the Catwoman. She is probably the best Catwoman that's been in any Batman movie or TV show ever. Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, that was amazing. She did good. I saw that on the plane. I was impressed.
Yeah, that movie was awesome. I can't wait to see where they keep going with that series, and they definitely got to bring her back. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's all I got to say, really. Just you got some good taste, my man, just like me.
There you go.
All right, man. Love you, dude. Have a good night, and love everybody on the show and the chat. There we go.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, later, man.
All right, great call. Yeah, Catwoman as Zoe Kravitz. Yeah, very good. Very, very good. What I don't want to see is a Lizzo Catwoman. I don't want to see nothing like that going on, because that ain't. At a certain point, it's like you're not going to be considered a cat. You maybe like a bobcat or a mountain lion or something like that. But that's not the true spirit of Catwoman. From Eartha Kitt and everybody, Michelle Pfeiffer, that ain't really what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a little something different. You know what I mean? That's how that's supposed to go. Yeah. But Michelle Pfeiffer, what was that? That was in the 92 Batman with Michael Keaton, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. 1992 Batman. I'm gonna look it up right quick, just because. Or when was that movie yep, I'm right. 1992. I watched that when it came out. I was probably about, I don't know how old I was, maybe about 8 years old, I say, 92? Yeah, about 8 years old. I remember that movie like it was yesterday. Because I had the car, the little toy car, the Batmobile. I had all of that back then when I was a little boy watching that movie. Now movies were much better back then, in my opinion. You got some good film nowadays, but back then, it was Danny DeVito as the Penguin. It was amazing. It was a great time in history. Oh, Vicky Vale. Yeah, I remember Vicky Vale. Shout out to Vicky Vale. All right. 929, your line. I'm speaking to.
Anthony, how you doing?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Yes. So far, we see the fake new media starting like collapse right now. The poison jab. I don't know if I can say out loud the real name of the jab, because Facebook have removed the so-called vaccine misinformation.
Okay.
Yes, now we see the fake news media come out and blame the jab on Donald Trump. But we have to acknowledge that Trump, he Well, he did push the trap, and now Tucker Carlson and the Fox News have mentioned about the trap had caused harm and death to people. And also, I read the Epoch Times, right? The article of the Epoch Times showed that the CDC, mentioned the CDC. I have to give them a nickname. The Center Department of Criminals had admitted that the trap did not work on the Omicron virus, and also the mask. Yes, also the mask did not lower the effect of the Wuhan coup, and also the mask have contained many bacteria.
All right.
Yes, and the other thing, Tucker Carlson come out and he talked about how the friend and healthcare workers administration target this missed farmers, because not only they target them, and also they send the federal agent to raid their farm, because they produce food and milk for their own people, and also for their livelihood too.
Right.
And right now we see the globalist dictator, they do the same thing to the other land, and also in the Canada, and also in France too, around the world.
Yeah, around the world. That's right.
Yes. And right now, yes, you kind of watch the Joe Brandon make a public speak, like he tapping the gun owner of Americans that their Second Amendment is their Second Amendment cannot fight against the U.S. military. And after the President Potato say that, I think about if our Second Amendment cannot fight against them, then why they need to make the law to destroy our Second Amendment? Well, because they don't want to face a big consequence.
Right.
Yes. And not only that, there is also video that Beto showed, like the creepy again. He tried to flirt a 9-year-old girl by saying, oh baby over here. How old are you? You must be a turn of 8, kind of like that. Make me want to toe off.
Yeah, he's a creep. He's a big time creep, and he's been like that for quite a while.
Yes, like but especially there is the photo that he grabbed the baby, like the way he grabbed the baby, the toddler, like yes, like he grabbed the genital of the toddler.
Yeah, we can't be doing that. Yeah, we can't be doing that. But I got a few more calls on the lines. Thank you for the call, man. As always, definitely appreciate you.
Yes, let go, Brandon, and the shot must flow.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate it. All righty. All right, James, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing, man?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
All right. That his English is getting better.
It is. I noticed that.
Yeah. I was like, that's actually impressive. It's quite admirable. Yeah, that jab. It's amazing how many people get jabbed and then get sick from that. The ivermectin thing, for one, Joe Rogan seems to be validated a bit. It was never about ivermectin itself, because how many billions of people take it? It's just not in that dosage. Good grief. You'd think people would be able to get the difference in that. I don't know, man.
But it's not even about that. It's about, you can't take whatever you want to take to fix yourself, to cure yourself, or to treat yourself. Take whatever we tell you to take. That's really what it was, because they could have just said, okay, you could take it, but use a proper dosage so it's safe or whatever it is. It just said, no, it's horse paste. Don't take it.
Exactly. What's with that? I think so. There was this theory going around that as my camera's messed up here. You know how the idea of the emergency vaccination or the emergency vaccine thing, you know how that went through, right?
I can't really remember. I think it might have been, I forget. I can't think of it right now.
So to get the emergency vaccine through the rigmarole, all the laws of being able to say that this has to be done, was the fact that there couldn't be any other medications that you could take for that.
Oh, okay.
Right. So if any other medications were allowed, then you could not get the approval. And the approval went through with another, how many $1 billion, at least $15 billion approval for the vaccine. So the amount of like government kickback between Pfizer and Moderna and all these places, but you couldn't have any other medicines that were effective in treating the disease. And so ivermectin and all these other things, that's why they were really harsh against Trump for all the, what was it? Chloroquine stuff.
Yeah. ACQ. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, all those things were frowned upon quickly, but that's kind of conspiratorial to say, well, it's because if they weren't, then the question comes, was it because the excuse me, the drug companies were getting money for it, or was it because they really were trying to push through a vaccine that would help people? And Thomas Sowell talks about this in one of his books about how drug companies need to push forward a solution like a vaccine for something, and government agencies need to be able to approve it. But the person who's in charge, i.e. the president or whoever, is going to get the blowback because there's a certain percentage of the population that's not going to be able to take it simply because of, allergies, or it might be ineffective, or it might actually be deadly towards them. But the blowback is always political, and it's never towards the pharmaceutical company itself. And that's just really disappointing. Actually, that's not all that aside. That was on my mind, but that is nothing to what I actually wanted to talk to you about. And I don't know if this is okay to talk about because it's not on the plan for today, I don't think. But you had mentioned in a post, video yesterday or day before, I don't know what the time difference is, the rap music.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so what is your thinking behind rap music not influencing how people act on a daily basis?
Well, I think what my general point was like, as far as influencing the crime, because people say that the rap music influences the crime, but the people that listen to rap music the most, i.e. your white suburban kids, are not engaging in the crime, but they're the biggest consumers. I think the problem is you got kids that are already in a bad environment, and the rap music becomes their soundtrack to the life they already live. Like, you're not necessarily going to be a blood gang member if you're living in Pleasantville, USA. Why would you be in the blood gang? Like, for what? But if you're living in Compton, California, wherever you are, some kind of bad area where it's already negativity going on, you combine with the rap, it just adds on to what's already happening. But you got to have both to make it actually work. If you don't have one or the other, if the bad environment is not there, you can't have the music have a negative influence.
Yeah, it's that there's this idea in magic, like mental magic. I've worked for a couple of years as a magician at Disney. When you hypnotize somebody, you can't actually get them to do something that they don't want to do. It's just suggestion. And so Plato wrote in the Republic that if you want to take over, I think I've mentioned this to you once before, that if you want to take over a country, don't invade, because you'll waste time, energy, effort, lives, etc. Lots of money. But instead, change the music of their youth. And so therefore you would change the minds of the youth. And within a generation, you'll have them and they'll be yours. And it's essentially a type of propaganda. But how do you propagandize somebody? And you can't really make somebody think something entirely new. But if you set the stage for it and then you encourage it through the background of entertainment, then you can get somebody to do horrible things. Well, actually anything you want, whether horrible or not. But, you get this idea of, if children are raised on a diet of anger and violence, then if that's all they've ever eaten, that's all they're ever going to eat and have a taste for. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure that you'll be able to get somebody who's 40 or 50 to cause, obviously any crimes by doing that. But the fact that it's there in the first place, whether somebody's even in a gang to begin with, will they then do it? Or will they be more encouraged, if that's the culture, to go into a gang and see that that's, you have to ask the question why somebody joined a gang in the first place. Is because they have some hole in life they're trying to fill, right? They don't have the community, or they don't feel included in something, and the gang provides that. And then if that gang culture is around an element of criminality, that's just going to be how it goes. So I agree with her assessment, but the question comes, how far in freedom of speech do you have to allow people to sing in songs whatever they want that encourages violence? I think you should be able to say whatever you want, but at the same time, should you also, on a larger scale, encourage better music? I don't know, because I like rap music. I just don't like the message that some rap music has.
It's all kind of music out there. It's music. It's all kind of music out there. But it's like, okay, what does the society at large want? What do you want? It's all kind of music. You got Christian music. You got different kind of religions all over the world. You got Islamic music with no instruments. You could find
Islamic music is really good, to be honest.
It is, but you can find whatever you want. But it's certain things that are more popular than others. You can go play Taylor Swift all day, whatever you want to do. It's your choice.
Not bad either.
It's not bad, you see. But people they gravitate to what they want, and a lot of times these kids in these environments, they gravitate to what they kind of recognize, because the people that are in the songs probably come from the same kind of environment that they come from, so it's relatable. And so it just kind of fits. They don't know about getting pumpkin spice from Starbucks. They don't know about the Taylor Swift life, so they can't really relate. That was me coming up. I didn't know nothing about anything else, because this is my world that I live in. But once I started to kind of grow up and move around and travel, now I have more experiences. Then I'm able to be more well-rounded. That's how that works.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. It's like you are exposed to more things. And I remember the first time I showed up here, man, I had no idea how big the world was, because I'm from North Carolina, man. I've got a real redneck accent. I had to lose here because nobody could understand me. But I had no idea how big the world was, and it was a real shock. I think part of the music genre and the art. There's a really good book by Franz Schaeffer called "How Must We Then Act or Think." Oh man, it's been 20 years since I read it. Anyway, it's about art. And that would include music and how it affects society. Listen, I'm rambling on at the mouth. I've had 4 cups of coffee. So I'll let you go. It's a really great show today. And good stuff to talk about, man. Always love hearing your thoughts and comments.
Well, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Be good at it. See ya.
All righty. All right, great call. Yeah, the music, people a lot of times they want to blame rap music on the violence, but I don't think so. Because like I said, the largest consumers of rap music are suburban white kids. They're not engaging in the thugging and the drugging the same way they are in the community. And as a matter of fact, the community are not even really buying the music. It's the, like I said, suburban white kids. They're the ones that are buying it, going to the concerts. That's just what it is. So at a certain point, it's like, well, why are some people apparently just following whatever the rappers are doing and some people aren't? You know, I mean, that's just, you got to point toward their home life and their neighborhood life. People that get into the gangs because that's just what's right there. Like, okay, you got friends you go ride the school bus with, you going outside playing football, basketball with, and they're involved with it. You're going to be involved with it too. That's how that works typically. 213, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? All right, I don't know what's going on there. We got SpongeBob SquarePants calling in from the land down under. I don't know. From Bikini Bottom. I don't know what's happening. We got Bubbles on the phone. Yeah, let's not. I don't know what was happening with your phone call, boss, but you got to tighten it up. Let's get it together. Okay, the SpongeBob minutes, SpongeBob wireless, Bikini Bottom wireless is not really letting your call get through. Whoever the stationary person is plugging the like the old school little switchboard. They weren't switchboarding properly today. So I don't know what happened. And you know what? One thing, Buff vs. Winship says, Sugar Hill Gang never made me want to be violent. You know the funny thing about Sugar Hill Gang and some of the, you know, the anti-violent rap, that was the craziest, that was the most violent time in the black community in history. The 80s, like the late 80s was the most violent time because all the drugs that were coming out, that was just street stuff. And during that time, you had anti-violent songs and positivity and all kind of Afrocentric. You had all of that at that time, but yet and still you had violence in the street. You had Michael Jackson and Prince and all that, you know, sing-songy stuff, but ultimate crazy violence in the streets. When the crime started to go down, that's when you had the gangster rap that came in. Like 1994, that's when Snoop and all them came out. When the crime went down, that's when that came in. But before that, like 88 to 92, that era, oh, that was all like, you know, African beats and dashikis and power to the people, my black brother, blackity black. That was that time. I remember that time like it was yesterday. Like I said, when the 1992 Batman came out, I was there. I was in the movie theater and watched it. 928, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Kamala Harris.
All right, Kamala Harris. You sound kind of rough there, boss.
Yeah, I got a sore throat. Anyways, look, things aren't going too good for me here at the White House, and Joe's falling apart. Yeah, I was hoping I could come get a job on your show, maybe like sleep in your basement or like a futon couch or something for the time being until after the midterms. Maybe things go all right for the Democrats, but it's not looking that good.
Yeah, you can't stay here, but maybe you'd be able to get a job being a contributor. You could do remote work. That's totally fine. You could do remote work.
Well, and I've walked by 1,000 businesses and I haven't seen a help wanted sign anywhere. Like, times are really rough.
Yeah, I see. It's pretty hard out here, and it's going to get rougher after the midterm elections. So, yeah, it's going to get bad.
Well, you know, there's always 2024. We're going to beat Trump. Like, I just have a feeling that me and Weekend at Bernie's are going to pull it off like one more time. You know.
Well,
what are your thoughts on the 2024 election?
2024, I think that they said that Biden filed to run again. That won't go very well because in 2020 he had to campaign from the basement because he's pretty much got both feet in the ground. Weekend at Bernie's, like you said, Weekend at Bernie's. He's not able to really get around too tough. He's trying to say things and not making a whole lot of sense. So that won't really work out too well. Kamala Harris polled at 0 when she tried to become the president in 2020. So
no, this is Kamala right here.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot. I'm sorry. You polled at 0 in 2020.
Joe is right here. Hey, Joe, say something to Mr. Logan. No, Joe, turn the ice cream cone the wrong. Oh, he just stuck the ice cream cone up his nose. Darn it. This happens all the time. Anyways, I don't want to take any more of your time. I got to get back on the campaign trail for 2024. We're also going to get Hunter Biden is going to take over Nancy Pelosi's job. So trust me, we got this in the bag. It's going to be great. And oh gosh, you know what, Anthony? I got to come clean. This isn't Kamala Harris. It's Jack from AZ again. But anyways, man, I love the show, dude. Love what you're doing. Love all the comments and stuff. People have some fun stuff. That's always fun. But anyways, God bless America. Hey, and one thing, God bless our vets. If you guys haven't signed up for a VFW or American Legion membership, please do that because they're dropping like flies, man. And these places aren't going to turn into museums in the next 5 or 10 years. We're not bringing back veterans anymore. So keep that in mind. If you can support your local community, your VFWs, your American Legions, please do so. And God bless all of you. Thank you, Anthony, and God bless America.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, peace.
All right, Tariq, what's happening?
Hey, man, what's up, man? This Mark Zuckerberg thing, man, coming out saying that the FBI told him it's Russian propaganda, so they had to squash the Hunter Biden story. Man, I'm not shocked, man, because the FBI was never with Trump, man. There was a lot of spurious whistleblowers coming out of the Trump administration, just leaking things. Have you noticed in this Biden administration there are no leaks coming out?
I saw that. Yeah, no leaks. Everything's tight-lipped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because they're all on his side. The CIA, the FBI, all these intelligence services, this is the type of America that they want. The America where corruption happens and you don't know what's going on and everything is looking good. But see, when Trump comes in, then you got all these leaks. And man, I honestly think the intelligence services is behind that, man. I don't trust them. I never did. They lied us into a lot of wars. And, they're not being 100% about what's really going on with Ukraine and Russia. They got the media blessing. So, yeah, I don't think that Trump, because this is his first rodeo as president, really knew what he was up against, man. And, I think when he allowed his, I believe he had Mike Pompeo and other Republicans choose his staff, I don't think he truly understand how much into the deep state that these people were. If I was Trump, I would hire people who is loyal to him. Because, this is just one-tier justice, man. You got to ask, and these social media companies are such hypocrites, and I hope the Republicans, when they take over, press them. Because, like I said, why did they allow the fake news Russian-gate story to go along? Unfeathered, unproof, just nothing. They just said Russia interfered in the election and Donald Trump aided them. There was no proof.
Right.
And even the intelligence services said that. There's no proof. But how did they get away with that? It's just crazy. But then every time when something is against the Democrats that can hurt them, all of a sudden there's this censorship campaign. All of a sudden the FBI is trying to squelch it. Nah, man. To me, the FBI did interfere in the elections, and Trump has a point where that can call into question in the election, because they literally told these social media companies to not report the story because it's Russian propaganda. It's like, how do they know this? How do they know that Russia is just producing this stuff? It's just crazy. And I think American people are getting tired of this one-tier justice. And, when the Republicans take over, we need to be hard on them. We want to see them question these Democrats the same way they question these Republicans and get some people fired. Because Trump had Michael Flynn fired and a whole bunch of his staff who was loyal to him either had to quit, resign, get fired, get locked up, have the FBI raid. But when it comes to the Democrats, nothing happens to them. It's just not fair, man. And I'm really just sick of the biases. I'm sick of the social media biases. this is why I'm like pro far right Trump Republicans only. I'm no more mealy mouth because we got to fight back, man. And what do you think about Lindsey Graham's statement? Meaning, he said, if Trump gets indicted on criminal charges, it may be a civil war in America. What do you think about that statement?
I don't know about that. I think that it would be a problem, but I don't know about civil war. I think that gets used a little bit too loosely, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I agree that may be a bridge too far, but I know it's going to piss a lot of people off because right now we really do have a Democrat president using the justice system against a political opponent. And I swear to God, had this been flipped, had Donald Trump been president and they've been raiding Joe Biden and harassing Joe Biden like this, they will have another special counsel launched against that. Like, it's crazy how when Trump is president, there's a special counsel launched against him, led by the Democrats, led by his opposition in his own cabinet, a special counsel. But then when it comes to Biden or any Biden corruption or the improper use of the Justice Department and the FBI, there's not going to be a special counsel. And I'm telling you, it's going to be these weak Republicans who aren't going to demand it, and it's going to be the never Trumpers. So, yeah, man, that's all I'm saying, man. I hope when the Republicans win, the same pain, punishment, and infliction that the Democrats launched against us, we have to do it back to them because these people are not trying to reach across no aisle. They are there for power. And this is what the Republican voters got to understand. There is no more reaching across the aisle no more. These people are super partisan. They think you're all racist, sexist, homophobic, bigots. And if you are a person of color, they just think you are a slave to white people. They are not trying to work with us. And yeah, man, that's all I got to say, man. We just got to fight back. No more cowering and playing around. Take care, man.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right.
Fantastic call as always. So I see Buck versus Windshield gifted 5 ABL memberships. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe if you guys try to get a membership, it'll be free until they ran out. I don't know how that works. I can't issue them myself. So I guess you guys can get a membership for free thanks to Buck versus Windshield until they are no more. You got 5 of them, so y'all hop on it. I don't know how it works, so don't get me the lying and giving you guys advice on how to get it. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Evening, ABL. It's Sonia. How you doing?
I'm well. About yourself?
All right. Well, I just wanted to say, maybe it's not just rap music that might be influencing our youth. What about Democrat policies? Because let's say you're an average kid, you might even have both parents at home. You're not into gangs or anything like that. But you know that you can walk into a store and steal whatever you want and not get arrested. Won't that be tempting?
That's correct. Absolutely.
And I'm a little confused because I know in California they have that law that you can get, I don't know, $900 worth of merchandise, no problem. But I don't think that's in place in New York City. And they've been also smashing and grabbing too. And most recently in Soho, they went into a store and I think they got, and calmly at that, the video was just them doing it very calmly while the security guard watched. They got like $30,000 worth of merchandise. And so, assuming that they don't have that same law in New York, it's just happening there because they're just soft on crime in general, or is it the no bail reform, or what do you think?
Can you give me the question again? I kind of missed the question.
Since they don't have a law that I know on the books that says you can steal this amount of stuff and get away with it, and it's still happening in a place like New York,
yeah.
Is it just because of a no bail thing or having a DA that's soft on crime in general? You know,
it's pretty much everything. It's a soft on crime stance in the state of New York and also in the city. Where I think one of the main things is the police kind of being defunded or being discouraged from doing what they should be doing. You want to stop.
Oh, Lord, how can I forget? Right, defund the police. That's what set it off everywhere.
Yeah, set it off everywhere because now the police can't necessarily enforce things the way they want to enforce it because of a lack of staffing. So that's one of the main things.
And speaking of staffing, The security guards just stand there and watch. I'm not going to pretend that I wouldn't do the same thing because we already know that even the cops are not allowed to do their jobs. But what I want to know is, since they're already getting hit so hard with this merchandise being stolen, why are they hiring security guards at all?
I think security guards are there in case there's a fight that breaks out. Maybe they want to break up a fight. I don't know. Or maybe if there's a fight that happens, they can call the police. But they're not there to stop theft of any kind of. Yeah, they're not there for that. They're there for maybe just safety of the people that are there. But if you have somebody that's in there stealing things and they get into a fight with the store owner or something like that, that's not a very good job of preventing altercations and providing safety.
True. And by no means do I expect you to have answers. I'm just thinking out loud because, for instance, I think it was Lululemon merchandise that these people took in that Soho store.
Oh, wow.
Assuming the person who has that line or that brand is a liberal. They just willing to take the loss because they must know that the things they support is why this is even happening. So do they think that, poor people, they don't believe, criminals don't belong in jail and abolish prisons and they can steal whatever they want. It's okay. I can afford it. I mean, I'm trying to understand because it's affecting their bottom line.
Well, see, the funny part about that is a lot of these companies may appear to be woke, but they're not necessarily that woke to the point where they want to go broke. This is why Starbucks is leaving a bunch of these big cities because although Howard Schultz may be kind of woke or whatever, maybe a leftist, maybe a Democrat, he may even want to run for president as a Democrat. He still understands that you can't just have your restaurants become public toilets and become run over with homeless people shooting up drugs. You can't have that happen. It'd be the same thing with Lululemon. They can't have their product being taken. So if you keep having the same store get hit over and over and over again, they'll just close down and move on to somewhere else.
Yeah, they'll just quietly leave, but they won't admit, their part in that. And then small victories, because when these things happen, especially in California, it gives me hope. I don't know if you've heard of the Bill 866 that Senator Scott Wiener tried to put on the table. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
No problem. He wanted to make the vaccines something that teens could do without their parents' permission. And thankfully, he lost this one. And I just wanted to read you his statement because I thought it was so ridiculous. He says, we're close, but a couple of votes short. We're thus moving the bill to inactive. The anti-vaxxer harassment campaign worked this time at the expense of teen health. We lost this round, but aren't going anywhere.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the parents, they're of course these horrible anti-vaxxers who tried really hard to just want a say in their teens' health. And I'm just surprised that this is even still something that they have to fight for with all the stuff that's coming out now about it, with the jab.
Right.
I mean, I still see people wearing masks too. You think they're not hearing what we're hearing about all the little updates about, it's not as effective as it was, this and this is happening. They're in the matrix that they can't see. I don't know. I'm just lost. But I'm glad they won that one. But they'd have to fight this again because they're not going to let it go. And then one last thing. I know that the guy who's trying to take the governor's seat from DeSantis, which I doubt, he said he doesn't want your vote. Go vote for DeSantis if that's what you want. And then Hochul said, get out of town, go to Florida because you Republicans don't represent our values. You're not real New Yorkers. They're just coming out so bold saying, we don't care for your vote. And then now Karine said in the press conference, when she kept quoting the president, that he keeps saying, these MAGA Republicans, they're too energized and some other stuff. They're a danger to the democracy. And I thought it was so weird that she said energized. Is that a bad thing now?
It really shouldn't be a bad thing. You should want your voter base to be energized, to be enthusiastic and go out there and vote for you.
Yeah, I mean, isn't there like they're basically saying we don't like them, that they're involved, they're active, they want to participate? I mean, I don't remember how it was before because, again, I wasn't paying attention before Trump. But have you ever heard an administration or a president or their team say that essentially they represent only the Democrat Americans?
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah, like they don't care about the rest. I thought it was about the American people, only the American Democrat people. I don't understand why, it's so one-sided and nobody says nothing.
Right.
All right, but I've said enough. Good night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right, great call from Sonia. And thank y'all for being here yet again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether they be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description. You can also just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. This will be available at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning Eastern Time. So this is a Wednesday show. This will be available Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And when I do the Saturday show, it'll be available Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time on your favorite audio streaming platform. And when you're over there on the podcast platform, please give me a 5-star rating, a review, whatever you can. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, give me a like, a favorite, a share, whatever you can over here. That'd be fantastic. And thank you guys again for being the best audience anywhere on the internet. I cannot do it without y'all. Not in the least bit. All right. Yeah, and this whole thing about the MAGA Republicans is so weird. But I understand what they're doing. They're trying to prey upon fear that people have of, I guess you would say, like the whole January 6th thing. They're trying to link January 6th to quote unquote MAGA, insurrectionists, all this and that. Because at any time when you have a leftist on television and they're being asked about certain things, if they don't want to answer the question, they'll divert to January 6th. How are you going to get this student loan plan through without going through Congress? How is that going to work? Well, it's something that the people need. And you know what we don't need are people that want to go and become insurrectionists on January 6th. So that's our focus. It's like, how did we get from the student loan situation all the way to January 6th? How did that happen? But that's what they do. 773 on the line. I'm speaking to.
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. I just wanted to make a quick comment on what Sonia just said. Places like Walgreens, they have a security guard there. And obviously they're not doing anything. They are just there for the appearance of security. That's what they're there for now. ABL, I was personally involved in a court case where, as I told you, I work in a ghetto. At this one Walgreens, a guy was shoplifting. The security guard, once the guy got past the point of sale, he chased the guy down the street. Once he chased the guy down the street, he got into a fight and an altercation with the guy. We showed up. We arrested the guy for shoplifting. Once we got to court, his lawyer actually argued that my client, the offender, the shoplifter, my client did a property crime where he stole some, items, and then he was assaulted by the security guard and defended himself against a physical altercation perpetrated by the security guard. And even though he did commit the crime of shoplifting, the assault took place because of the security guard chasing him off the property of Walgreens, pursuing him for a property crime, and then being assaulted by the security guard. Walgreens was sued. There was a settlement that was made, but it sounds ridiculous. But this is why places like Walgreens and other stores have this hands-off mentality that, just call the police. You're here to make sure none of the other customers and none of the people are assaulted in the store. But do not pursue anybody. Do not put your hands on anybody. This is what it's come down to. Walgreens doesn't want to be sued. They don't want somebody getting hurt. And obviously the offender knows this, and they take advantage of that weakness. And that's really the situation, and that's a real life situation that happened. That you're away from the Walgreens property. He's no longer on the property. It was only a property crime that this guy committed, and now there's been this physical altercation that took place a block and a half away from Walgreens, and people were sued. Sounds ridiculous, ABL, but that's the situation that we're in today, and it's kind of disgusting. It really is. We've given power to the criminal. That's what we've done. So
that's right.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents. ABL, great show. I'm glad I was able to get in, and I'll leave you to end the show. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, that will be a wrap for me. Thank you all for being here. It's been a fantastic show as always. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check and the chat nice and clean. I thank y'all for what y'all do all the time. Could not do it without y'all as well. Super chat show on deck. I'll read those right quick, and then I'll wrap it on up. Put the bowl clean on top. Bo versus Windshield says, "How about having the new power be ready to go before getting rid of fuels?" Speaking about California and the gas cars and all that kind of stuff, and electric vehicles. Democrats want to stop people from traveling. It's by taking freedom away. That's correct. F Ranger Xbox says the only law oppressing Lizzo is law of gravity. Hilarious. Michael Critchlow says Zoe Kravitz had the only woke line in Batman. Bo versus Windshield says anyone can look it up. Third world countries had way smaller pandemic deaths because they took ivermectin weekly. That alone shows corruption. Correct. Also, Sugar Hero Gun F made me want to be violent. Thank you to Scott for the donation. Thank you to Bo versus Windshield again, who says, that's when he gifted the 5 memberships. Hand them out as you see fit. Thank you to Giant Iguana for your donation. Thank you to Joe Ryder 84, who says, what are the reasons you can't stand Michelle Obama besides her lunches? I don't know. I don't think about Michelle Obama like that. I don't think about her. I don't have her top of my mind. I'm not necessarily a person that is a Michelle Obama hater. So I don't really know. I mean, I don't like Barack Obama and his policies. Michelle Obama, it's whatever. Not really. It's like an accessory. It's like Joe Biden to me. Thank you to Zedder's King Sword, who says, this is all I have to offer. I'm sorry, everyone. It's all good. Thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best. I'll be back live again Saturday. I'm not traveling, so I'll be here Saturday. Same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right around right now, 11 p.m. But that will be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.